Do like a little stack. Yeah, those will work.
Okay, so we're live right now. What's up, guys?
Masters of None podcast episode 2. I'm Justin.
I'm Roberto, and this is the Masters of None podcast. So, real quick, while he listens to the feedback because we're poorly prepared, which is not really true. Honestly, we've been hustling to try to get this back together.
We've been grinding. So
yeah, new camera. We're hoping that the quality of this one is a little bit better than the last one. Not that the last one came out terrible, but we're shooting for a real, just like the side of your headphone says, a professional sound look. And I think that honestly, when it comes to the sound, I think our sound is great. I think the only thing I didn't like was the video quality, and it was my fault. I should have shot at a better resolution, but it is what it is. We're gonna move past that, and it's episode 2. You want to talk about first things first? You want to talk about the competition we got going on? We're giving away $100 Amazon gift card.
It's really $125 and possibly more, depending on how many people are involved and do better than us.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, we're giving away a $100 gift card and then a couple other $25 gift cards.
Hopefully, it's just a couple for our wallet's sake.
I 100%
really
hope that we don't get a million people, even though it would be nice if a million people participated. I don't want to get beat by a million people and have to give away $1,025 gift cards.
If you're new to what we're talking about, we're actually discussing we're talking about this contest that we have going on for the UFC fight card this weekend. So it's Brian Ortega versus Korean Zombie. That's the main event. So what we have is a competition where we're making picks based on a point system. You can check it out. There's a video explaining the whole thing on our YouTube as well as on our Instagram. So it's just explaining the rules. All right, we'll do a quick...
Real brief. You've been saying it all day.
Yeah, true. All right, so the way it works is we kind of have a... It's like a fantasy type of a point system worked out that we thought of. It's pretty basic. It might sound complicated at first, but it's really not. So there are 5 fights. You have a total possible 4 points that you can earn per fight, making it 20 total points you can obtain for the contest.
Yes.
The way it works is you make 4 different types of picks per fight. They're just specifics about the way the fight is going to end. So the first pick you make is who's going to win. The second pick you make is what round it's going to end. The third pick you make is how it's going to end. Is it going to be a knockout, a KO, a submission, or a TKO, a KO, a submission, or a decision? And then the fourth one is a little more details about the way it's going to end. What type of submission? What type of knockout? Was it a punch, a kick, or was it referee stoppage from strikes? Was it a split decision or a unanimous decision? And which one? TKO, submission.
I was looking at my notes for things I want to talk about.
It's all good.
So,
TKO, submission.
TKO,
decision,
submission, or decision.
Yeah, and then
I guess you could write draw in there too. That's just another result the fight could end in.
Shit, we might have to add something else. If you call a draw and they make it a draw, we'll have to
do something special for you.
Yeah, if you when you submit your pick, because we also got to tell you how to submit your pick. So you send it to us. You put it on a post either on Twitter or Instagram, and you tag us. You tag one of our Instagrams. You tag our Instagram or our Twitter, which is masters_of_none_ for Twitter, and then 2 underscores at the end for Instagram. So
that's the gist of it. If you really want to look at the real rules and not just us rambling off what we think the rules are, go check out the video on our YouTube page, and it'll tell you really clearly what the rules are and how you can participate. Super simple. You don't have to do anything except for pick who you think is going to win. And even if you're not the highest point, if you just beat our picks, then you still win $25, which is pretty sweet if you ask me.
Yep.
I do want to talk about, we didn't really get to talk about too much MMA last week. We got like a half of a conversation about it, but I'm not going to talk about all the fights because I don't want anybody privy to my picks too close to the this early, but I do want to talk about the Brian Ortega Korean Zombie fight. Brian Ortega hasn't really fought in a while. His last fight didn't go that great. Brian Ortega's my heart pick. He's who I would like to win, right? I'm going to talk about who I want to win this fight because this is 1 out of the 5 fights, and I think that me saying that I want Brian Ortega to win and think the Korean Zombie is going to win isn't that big of a deal. That fight could go either way. But what do you think about it? What do you think about the matchup stylistically for Brian Ortega, the Korean Zombie? Brian Ortega's good hands, good on his feet, even better on the ground. Korean Zombie's good on the ground too, and really good on his feet. They both take a beating. What do you think?
I got to be honest with you, man. I think I'm pretty confident in giving this to the Korean Zombie. That's how I'm feeling right now. I mean, they do match up well in terms of striking. I think the Korean Zombie might even be he's a more experienced striker, that's for sure. But that doesn't always tell a story. But I'm thinking that's one thing that I think the Korean Zombie, first of all, he's super durable. So he's going to take most of what Brian Ortega has to dish, I imagine. That's what I'm thinking. I've seen him take some beatings, bro, and he don't go anywhere.
Yeah, he's been to war.
Yeah, so I'll give him that, as well as I do think that they match up pretty evenly on the feet, and I think he can take more damage than Brian Ortega. So
Brian Ortega took a lot of damage his last fight. He's never been put away.
True, he did take a lot of damage, but he wasn't functional through that damage. He was just staying on his feet, but he wasn't causing any damage in return. Like, Korean Zombie has been beat up and then come back and been super dangerous later on. Like, I didn't feel any danger from Brian Ortega toward the end of that Max Holloway fight. Like, after the third round, like about a minute into the third round, I did not feel that Max Holloway was in any danger for the rest of the fight.
No, and if I'm being honest, I think that fight couldn't happen again today. People, and it's funny that it wasn't even that long ago, but this recent talk up and kind of people wanting to tell the referees how to do their jobs or having an opinion on what the referees are doing, that fight, I don't know if it could happen today. I think people would be, flocking to the stadium or flocking to the Apex Arena, the Fight Island, and talking about stop this fight. That fight was gruesome. It's you look at the fights they complain about not being stopped. In the summer of 2020, and you look at that fight, and those fights are nowhere near to how gory that fight got, and it was just an onslaught.
Yeah, that shit was a slasher film.
It really was. He took a beating, but he is my heart pick. He is who I want to win the fight. I think I'm going to end up giving it to the Korean Zombie. I think it's going to be a real good fight no matter what. A free fight, a fight night fight, not pay-per-view.
Bro, and they both have some hands, and they both can grapple like a motherfucker. So I'm hoping to see like really good scrambles, and then they pop up and they're striking, somebody gets dropped, and then they get back up. Like the dude that gets dropped almost lands a guillotine on the way down, and then it's like,
100%.
And then just scrambles, dudes flipping over guillotines, dudes spinning out of arm bars, and then like getting back up. Somebody catches a knee to the body on the way up. Like, I just see a really intense scramble and just really intense striking and energy, and then they can both scrap for days. So
when I see these super high level jiu-jitsu guys get into the octagon, I always hope it makes it to the floor. Guys like Nate Diaz walk in the ring, any of the Diaz brothers, they get into the ring, and I'm just praying that this fight gets to the floor. One of these fools gets choked out, not choked to death. I almost said choked to death, but no, gets put to sleep. And every time I watch Brian Ortega fight, it's the same thing. It's just like when Tony Ferguson walks in the ring, like, what do you hope happens? You hope he darces some fool, right?
Tony Ferguson is something else. He's another guy I like to watch on the ground. But the jiu-jitsu people in the ring, like when they're in the cage, is great. Like Mackenzie Dern in that last finish, bro.
How
about those transitions?
I know.
Jiu-jitsu is beautiful.
But the point I was going to get to is that when they do fight, we don't get to see that. It's not, and I'm not saying they're all like that, but you look at Brian Ortega, who he stood up that entire last fight against a guy who wasn't at the same level of jiu-jitsu.
He fell in love with his hands. He fell in love with his hands. He knocked out Frankie Edgar, and he just got...
He's got Chris boxing.
He does have Chris boxing until you fight a guy that has Chris boxing. He is Chris boxing for a grappler. And then you watch him fight a guy like Max Holloway that could not give a shit less to grapple, really. He wants to stand up and he wants to outbox you. He wants to move you. He wants to pressure you. So that to me was, there's levels to that striking shit. It's just like some guys are good at grappling until they grapple Brian Ortega.
Hey, listen,
and then you ain't nice at grappling anymore. Like you were nice. There was a time you were nice because they're the guys, you're nice. You'll smoke me in a grappling match, but you grapple Brian Ortega. It's
a different level.
Yeah.
Different level. I won't talk about. I don't really want to talk about Brian Ortega anymore. I really want to get to this big news, and it's not even solidified yet. But Conor McGregor.
Can I stop you for a sec?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Brian Ortega? I think he cut his hair because he was having trouble making weight.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned this to me earlier. I said that hair doesn't really weigh. Me and you both have had very long hair. Believe it or not, me and this beautiful gentleman across from me have had long locks.
Very long locks, like mid back.
So I think wet hair weighs, right? I don't know how much dry hair, regular hairs weighs, but you think he had a pound of hair? Or we had half a pound of hair, half a pound of water? What do you think?
See, I don't really know how much hair weighs. I really couldn't tell you. Like, I don't, I feel like it would weigh close to nothing. But then I think about how guys can't make weight and then they take their trunks off and they make weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't really know if the scale is that accurate. If, I don't know if you put something, if you were to take that extra weight, like the hair, and you were to put that on the scale, physically touching the scale plate, would it weigh something different than kind of sitting up and just not being directly on it? Like, I don't know if this is just stupid bro talk.
Because what's even crazier?
But there's got to be some extent, like an X factor there.
No, yeah,
there has to be
100%. There's some weight in the hair, right? But it's funny that you mentioned this might just be bro talk because we don't even know when this motherfucker cut his hair. Because I seen him he weighed in with no hair.
Yeah,
but I didn't really watch him in camp. I don't know if he hasn't had hair this whole time.
He posted the shaved head today.
This is the first time I've seen it.
He posted it today. Like today.
Yeah. Guy normally comes in with some cornrows, twisted up.
And he's had hair for a long time. This is like as part of his identity. This isn't the guy you expect to shave his head.
No.
He might just be reinventing himself and being like, you know what, like I'm a dog. Like I'm coming and I got fucked up last time and it's just not gonna happen again. And I'm coming here bro. Like he might be trying to look, I don't know, scary. I don't know what the deal is. He might be trying to get in his head like, yo, I'm crazy enough to cut my hair, bro. I'm crazy enough to shave my fucking head.
Listen, it's very possible. I think that when guys like no, I think that so the screen's just turned off, right? And Justin's looking at me like, hey, is this not working anymore? But what I think happened is just simply that my screensaver turned on. I shouldn't even have fucking touched it.
Yo, fuck that screensaver, son.
Screen.
I don't care. I'd rather have that. That shit, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, are we not live anymore? But we're still live. All right, we're still good. So you mentioned maybe just shaved his head to be different. The first thing that came to my head when you said that, I never know if Donald Cerrone's coming in bald or not. I never know. You never know if you're going to get like a goatee or a beard.
True.
You never know which Cowboy's coming in. You never know which Cowboy's coming in. I want to talk about the big news that's been going around this week, and even some at the end of last week. Conor McGregor talking about fighting Dustin Poirier. Dana White said at a press conference yesterday that they both agreed to the fight. However, none of their contracts have been signed. They said that
they'll sign. It's going to be a huge payday for both of them. I think Dana also said he's, like it's not far-fetched to book Cowboy Stadium.
No, what he said was that he doesn't want to fight in a 3/4 and a half full stadium.
True, but what he did say is he's very good friends with those folks over there.
The Jones family, Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He said it would be sick. You're talking about 101 plus. I don't want to misquote this. I want to say they fit like 100,000 people in there. Thank you. You got the computer right in front of you. I want to say it's AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. And I want to say for the opening game, they sold out and it had something around 101,000 people in there. And I could be very wrong. Maybe it's 10,000 people.
No, it's definitely not 10. Ooh, damn.
What is it?
Close to 100. It's 80.
80,000 people. They sold standing seats and shit like that on the first. I don't know if they sold 20,000 standing seats, but big fucking stadium. How big is Madison Square Garden?
I think Madison Square Garden's it's like 28,000.
Fuck me. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah. That's unbelievable. You're going to have some hooligan behavior. You're going to have, what you're going to have? You're going to have like Irish soccer fans. Like,
the soccer hooligans?
Oh my God, bro. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be face paint, people hanging over the rafters. Like, you don't want nothing to do with that, man.
You know what?
That's going to be a good time. We should fly down there. We should get some press passes. That's what we should do. We should try to get some press passes.
How many likes on this video for us to fly down for that fight?
Shit. None.
I could get down there. I couldn't afford the fucking seats.
Should we try to do some tickets for somebody to come with us?
That'd be crazy.
We get a certain amount of plays.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that tomfoolery. But I will tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to watch, and I told you this already, but I'm gonna say it here. I don't want to fucking watch that fight in a stadium. Watching two guys fight in a 30-foot octagon is difficult enough in Madison Square Garden. That's a fraction of the size, right? A third of the size.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's going to be like watching two guys fight in an octagon in a stadium that was designed to watch a sport that took place on a 100-yard field.
Yeah, it's not one of those things. I mean, combat sports isn't the kind of sport that you want to see sitting far away. It's not. You know, there's certain sports you can watch from far away. Like, you can see the majority of what's going on in a football game, aside from, like, little dirty plays on the inside, you know, holding jerseys, you know, like somebody, you know, spiking guys or grabbing face masks. That you can't see from the crowd. Yeah. But you can see where the ball is going. You can see who's running. This is the reason they have big numbers on their jerseys, like, so you can keep track of who's who. Like, it was designed for spectators that are... It's been adjusted, rather, to suit spectators that are far away.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. I have a story for you. I saw Diego... I saw Rigondeaux fighting Nino Donaire. Myself and a buddy of ours, Xavier, we went to see that fight at Radio City Music Hall. Now, Radio City Music Hall is very small. That's not a big place.
Not Madison Square
Garden. It's not a big place.
It's not AT&T Stadium.
It's definitely not Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium. That shit'll always be Cowboy Stadium.
And you know what's funny is that Dana said like Dallas Stadium or something.
It's Cowboy Stadium forever. Yeah. I don't care who like buys the right to put their fucking name on the building.
I concur.
So when we went to see that fight, bro, I watched that fight. And I was like, Nonito Donaire got fucking robbed. He whooped Rigondeaux's ass. Like, that shit was bullshit, man. Jesus Christ, I watched a replay on TV.
What happened?
What fucking fight did I see? I don't know what fight I was watching. But I'll tell you what, all this from far away, it's very exciting. As a fan, I'm like, oh, he's fucking him up. Oh, I know fighting okay. I've been watching it a long time. And I thought for sure Nonito won that fight. I watched the replay. He wasn't touching. He was not touching Rigondeaux. He was cracking him, countering him, beating the brain. He was Floyd Mayweather in this fool.
Damn.
And now that's in Radio City. Radio City's as big as my fucking, like, it's like a quarter of the size of my elementary school. That shit is, like, not big. And now you talk about Cowboy Stadium, you're not going to be able to see anything.
No, you're not going to see anything.
You think the judges are bad in other fights when they're sitting right there, when they're real close? Jesus Christ. Imagine if they got like this whole crowd behind them and all this influence and this big, like, come on.
You know what else they have, right?
What's
the biggest fucking TV ever made at the time when the stadium was built. It's not a projector, it's like a television or assortment of televisions that they have hanging from the fucking ceiling of this place is fucking real.
So essentially people are paying $1,000 to go and watch a big ass TV.
Yeah, at poor quality.
To sit in a rich billionaire's living room. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Isn't it nuts?
Yeah.
But people will pay that to go watch Conor. People will pay that 2 times over to go watch Conor.
Speaking of paying to watch Conor, I hope that he doesn't price people out of this fight the way they did priced us out of the Conor Nate Diaz fight. We would have went to pay. See, that's what concerns me, because you put this fight in Cowboys Stadium, true fight fans aren't going to be able to afford to go, which is bullshit. It's going to be full of billionaires and people rubbing shoulders and making money that don't even watch the game. They're going to be fucking checking emails. They're going to be like this the whole fucking fight, when there's people like us that want to be there and they're going to price us out.
You know what's crazy is that I was just having this conversation with somebody today about like people who buy, and we're going to talk about it again, pop figurines, and they resell them on the internet. I truly, and I'll just make the analogy with fighting. It's just what you said. It's really unfair that I can't go watch a fight because some guy that has no idea who the fuck is fighting,
he could care less, dude.
Doesn't give a fuck. But he could afford to go, and I can't. And they bring the prices up because they know dickheads like that are gonna go. Just dudes who just like, they're like, oh, there's a big fight on this weekend. It's like the guys at work who you talk to, and they're like, oh man, you watched that fight this weekend, and you're like, I watch them every time they're on, and you've never asked me before.
Yeah.
But like you watch this one because it's huge. You watch the big fights. You watch the big December card, whatever.
It's the casuals, you know.
The casuals. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But when you, it's about being priced out. That's what it's really about. I'm not going to get into anything else. But the people like that can afford to go will go, and they're not really vested in the sport. They don't really care to go. You know how crazy it would have been for me and you to be at the fucking Conor McGregor Nate Diaz fight in Madison Square Garden, going in. It would have been legendary. I would have never forgotten it.
I mean, there's people that we know that work for companies that have boxes up there.
100%.
And they have boxes up there. And now when there's an event like this, that box ends up getting full of executives and people that are talking and bullshitting and don't really understand what's taking place in that arena that night.
Yep.
Like, they have no idea. Like, nobody has any idea what was about to happen when Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor fought in that building, and we didn't get to go.
Didn't get to go. Isn't it?
I knew that was going to be a historic night. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen, but I knew some shit was going to happen, and goddamn it.
That was McGregor Diaz 1.
Good question.
Because I want to say, if I had the opportunity to go and watch Conor go belly down and give his neck up, and I didn't get, and I don't think it was. I think it was Conor Diaz 2 that was in New York. I want to say Conor Diaz 1 was in Vegas, and 2 was in. I want to say 2 was in Vegas and 1 was in New York. But you know what? There's some fights that I don't even want to see in New York. New York, they really are athletic commission. Would I say that right? Is it our athletic commission? They, what they did to Nate his last fight was, borderline robbery. They're more likely to stop a fight here in New York than they are to stop a fight definitely in fucking Vegas. In Vegas, you fight to the fucking death.
Yeah. They've been putting on fights for a long time. That's where fighting, prize fighting really exploded and really found a home was in Vegas. Forever, because that's the gambling capital. So, it's like cockfighting. It's like, dog fighting, God forbid. That's terrible. I don't condone that shit at all. It's fucking brutal. But, they're all types of fighting, combat, that shit all revolves around gambling. You ever see Thailand? You ever see those Muay Thai fights?
Dude, those guys fight to live.
Dude, all they do, it's all about gambling. That's what that's what all fighting is built around, is gambling in Thailand.
Watching the stories of the guys who go to Thailand to train to fight, first of all, anybody who fights professionally or fights for a living, you're a different breed of human being. Hats off to you. You look at the guys who go from Europe or from the United States and they go to Thailand to train at, and I'm not talking about the elite places like Tiger. I'm talking about the guys who go and they can't afford Tiger and they go into these other academies and these back alley academies and they're fighting dudes every night for 50 fucking pesos, not even. And they're getting their head kicked in, or they're doing good, but they're fighting to pay rent, and they're fighting for the experience, and
that's what this shit is really about. That's when you get a hungry guy.
Yeah,
guys that are fighting for that meal.
And you look at some of the guys right now who, dominating. There's these. I think at one point, not at one point, still right now, the jiu-jitsu practitioners still do well in the MMA. But you look at these kickboxing guys, Israel Adesanya, he's got is it Muay Thai or is it kickboxing?
It's kickboxing.
It's a kickboxing background, right? You look at people like that. Look at our last weekend fight, Holly Holmes. Big kickboxing background. There's a lot. And boxing. There's a lot of people who do well, who transition from Muay Thai, kickboxing. I don't think it's as dominant as the jiu-jitsu guys were, or even still are, but it's they play a big role in the sport without a doubt.
I think that when you combine that stuff, when you combine a guy that can kickbox his ass off like Israel Adesanya, and then you stick him in a camp where they have good wrestlers that help them work their takedown defense, that's the component right there of wrestling that allows somebody to rise to the level that Israel Adesanya has gotten to, is his ability to defend a takedown. He's not a wrestler. He's not going to out wrestle you.
No.
But what he is going to do is make you work your ass off to take him down. And if you do get him down, he's slick. He'll get up and he'll stand up. And now that all that energy was for nothing.
Not the same caliber of fighter. However, Neil Magny's like that too.
He is like that, but he has a lot more grappling. He's got some submissions and stuff. Like he's got a bit more grappling, like significantly more.
He's not going to take it to the ground, and he's good at not being taken down.
True. I think he's got like one of the lowest. He's got something like that. I don't want to keep looking shit up. I don't want to keep looking shit up.
I didn't want to say that too, but I agree with you. I think he has like one of the lowest percentage of being taken down.
Agreed.
But I could be thinking of Michael Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know. But shit, man, Khabib changed them stats in one fight.
Oh my God. It's we just talked about it earlier about people who don't know what they're who think they're good wrestlers, think they're good grapplers, and then they get into the octagon with these fucking animals. Yeah.
Let me tell you some shit. I wanted to hold this for the podcast.
Oh, I haven't even heard this story myself.
Yeah. So, at my jiu-jitsu academy, there's a dude that I started training with. He trained at another academy that was one of ours that is in a different town. So he came, like, he started training with us and stuff. And he told me this story because he's got a wrestling background. He told me this story because he trains with a Russian coach.
Okay.
Right. So the coach he's like his MMA coach and shit like that. And he was telling me that, first of all, he's like, this guy's grind is crazy. He's like, the wrestling, like, he confirms all that stuff. Like, all that stuff that you hear about how different the wrestling culture is and how different wrestling is and how it's, like, nationally everything they do over there. Like in Russia. Everything they do over there is about wrestling and stuff like that. Like, it's like the breed of wrestler is much different. Like, we heard that. I've heard it. I've heard people talk about it, announcers, fighters. But when you hear somebody tell you, and bro, listen to this. He's like, so my coach tells me, he's like, oh, guys, I want you guys to go to Russia. I want you guys to, to go to Russia and train a little bit and stuff. And he's like, okay, like, no doubt. He's like, that would be cool. And he's like, bro, he's like, I think he was like in a senior in high school or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, bro, I was like a senior in high school. He's like, so we're like, oh, okay, no, cool. He's like, so it's me and two of my other buddies that we all train together. We all wrestle together over there. He's like, we get to the airport. I'm at the gate and I'm calling him. And I'm like, Coach, where are you? And he's like, what? And he's like, where are you? He's like, oh, nah, I'm not going. He said, I got to teach my class here. He's like, I got some guys come meet you when you get there.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
He sent these kids to Russia.
I swear to God, bro. Bro, he says he gets there. He said that we'll be taken care of and everything. He's like, and we were. He's like, they took care of us. He's like, bro, we get there. He's like, not even knowing what to expect. He's like, we get there. He's like, it's cold as fuck when we get there. He's like, that Rocky shit.
These dudes are from New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, that shit is real. He's like, that Rocky shit, that shit is fucking real. He's like, we get there. He's like, and he's like, we get like picked up by some guys. He's like, some guys meet us there at the airport and they pick us up. He's like, it was like a team of guys like that were affiliated with the wrestling team. He's like, we get to the hotel, he drop us off at the hotel. He's like, we go there. He's like, so we're staying there. He's like, and we're in the room and we're like, all right. Like, my coach told us to bring like gear, like American wrestling gear, like bring our gear with us.
Bring your singlet,
bring your
wrestling shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, your
like
shorts,
jackets and shit.
Yeah, I get it.
He says, we're in the hotel. We get a knock on the door. He's like, it's like, boom, 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 like a big-ass knock. And he's like, what? And it's like just some dudes out there with, like, Russian accents and shit like that, right? So
Speaking Russian.
Like, yeah, they're over there. They're like, open door. We are here, So he, like, so he goes and he, like, opens up the door. He's like, and it's these huge dudes that are all just, like, wrestling dudes from his team. He's
are
like,
they all wearing their shorts and singlet?
Probably that's how I'm picturing it. No, I'm picturing them all in leather jackets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like brown, like beat leather jackets. Like all them dudes in the fucking YouTube videos that are like fighting to the death and having slap contests.
The fucking glasses on.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Nah, it's all good. So he says they come in and they're like, oh, we're here. He sent us here and shit. And he's like, oh, all right, cool. And he's like, you got the clothes and shit? And he's like, what? He said, what are you talking about? He's like, your clothes. He's like, Coach told you to bring clothes. And he's like, yeah. And they looked at it and they were like hyped about like the singlets and shit. And they were like, yo, this shit is so dope. He's like, and they were looking like American brand new wrestling gear. Like from like, I'm sure they probably have maybe some stuff. Yeah, I'm sure it's like some sponsored shit from like their school and stuff.
People go, real quick, people go super hard about their singlets.
I bet. I don't know much about wrestling culture. I never wrestled.
I will tell you right now that people go hard. When you wrestle for a high school, obviously you wrestle in the singlet I only had the high school wrestling singlet. I a good enough wrestler to ask my mom to go out and get me a singlet. Like I said last podcast, I didn't make it through a single season. However, some of the kids on the team, they would show up to practice in a American flag Asics singlet. Oh, just wear the shorts. That was a big thing.
How much are those things? They're expensive?
I don't know, but right now, I wouldn't doubt you're paying $100, $120, something like that. I wouldn't doubt it for an Asics singlet. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's half that. I really don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. That was a look. You wear the shorts, the wrestling shoes, and just a singlet. No shirt. You know, because it's like a tank top. You know, it's just incredibly tight. So I can see where this is going.
Yeah, but they wanted the shit, and they were like, okay, so they like gave it to him, and they're like, all right, like we're taking these, and
they thought they were bringing it for themselves.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, they took it. He's like, I was like, oh man, like what the heck? He's like, all of a sudden they came back with the flyest Russian gear for us. He's like, we like traded gear. He's like, they gave us like these Russian jackets that were like so fucking legit. They said like Team Russia like on the back or some shit like that.
That's
you know, it was like so dope, the story. But he was like, it was crazy. He's like, we got the craziest like wrestling training we ever got. He's like, they train in like stadiums and shit. He's like, it's way different. He's like, all the money gets put into their wrestling programs. So I pictured in my head like the way it is in like Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and shit with baseball.
Oh,
like you go into like the hood in the middle of the Dominican Republic, like they'll be like shit'll be tore up, some of the shit, and then you touch the baseball field and it's like you see the baseball field and it's like, oh.
Dude, that diamond's clean 24 hours a day.
Yeah, bro, for real, man. It's like, so that's what it made me think of. It made me think of that in like other countries where you have poverty, but then you have real caring about the sports and about the activities. Like you see, they'll put money into soccer, or they'll put money into baseball, or they'll put money into boxing.
Soccer's a big one.
Yeah, man. You put money into boxing. Like you want to find one of the most badass fighters in the world, go to a poor ass neighborhood in like Russia, poor ass neighborhood in Mexico, poor ass neighborhood in DR or
Brazil,
or go to fucking Brooklyn or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You go to like the middle of like an area where there's some poverty and there's some hard streets, and you're gonna have some fighters, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna have some guys that can fucking scrap.
Yeah, dude, you look at the amount of fighters they are from Brazil, and you want to talk about a real tough as nails country. You want to talk about poverty stricken, super tough. Fuck me, Brazil doesn't even seem like it's in South America, right? It seems like it's on its own fucking. It seems like it's its own continent.
Yeah, bro, because it's part of the culture over there, man. I mean, when you started something, I mean that's why baseball is so crazy in America. Like baseball started here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like America's pastime. Like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is from Brazil. Like, yeah, it was Japan and shit. Like, it was Japanese, and then
it was altered.
It was changed and stuff. But they essentially started that real fighting mixed martial arts type of combat. I mean, Jiu-Jitsu started UFC, and that's what made the shit mainstream, you know?
And Japanese jiu-jitsu was more of a judo. It wasn't really like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, that it wasn't as much of a ground. There was a lot more throws involved, and it was similar to a judo. And then when Brazil got a hold of it, they started changing it up, and it was there was more ground game involved. Is that true?
Yeah, it was like, I mean, at least to my knowledge, I mean, I don't claim to be some kind of expert, but
but that was my understanding.
Yeah, but it's Japanese jiu-jitsu was based on a lot more strength stuff. It was a lot more power moves, a lot more throws, like you said, a lot more strength-related techniques that then Brazilian jiu-jitsu altered it to more leverage-based stuff that allows a smaller opponent to be able to hold their own against a bigger guy. Yeah. Man, I watched that video you sent me, that link. That was crazy.
So he's talking about, there's a guy on the internet, a lot of people know about him. His name's Bradley Martin. The dude's enormous. He's like, I want to say he's like 6'6", 300 some odd pounds.
Is he 6'6"? Holy shit.
He's a really big dude. Maybe he's, maybe you could look it up. He's
the live chat up?
Yeah, I got the live chat up, the live YouTube, but I don't have the Twitch up. So, when the monitor went black, I was like, oh, I want to keep the stream up just in case so I could look at it. Look up Bradley Martin, look up his size. I'll talk about him really quick. Bradley Martin, he owns a gym called Zoo Culture in California. He is a influencer. That's what happened to me. Isn't that funny? It happened to me last podcast. I fucked up and did that. Not that you fucked up and did that, but you did, and I did last time too.
Fucked up and did what?
Yeah, so No. I did that. I forgot my phone wasn't on silent. Bradley Martin, He's an influencer. He owns a gym called Zoo Culture. Dude's enormous. I found him from the Nelk Boys, but I sent Justin a video. You guys should look it up. Just go to Bradley Martin's channel and scroll down his videos and type in truck, and because the title of the video is like whoever wins, wrestling gets to keep the truck. That's how I found it. And he's going to one of the Gracie Academies in California. Who knows which one he's going to? And he's wrestling people. And he's one of the guys he wrestles is an Olympian judo guy. Now, these Olympic team guys, like you look at the people who come out of there. You got guys like Daniel Cormier, Yoel Romero. There's some elite people. Henry Cejudo. There's some elite people who come out of the Olympics. I think that the Olympics overall is kind of like,
Ronda Rousey. There's some elite people who come out of the Olympics. So this guy, obviously, not no joke. And they grapple for a little bit, and it's really interesting to watch. Like, you could be as strong as you want to be. And the judo, with the gentleman who was an the Olympic judo guy, he gave him his credit. He's like, you're a strong guy. He goes, if you get some technique, you're going to be super dangerous. He even told him, he was like, I don't want to teach you any of my tricks. Yeah. I think a dude was like, I forget where he was from. But he was saying,
I wish I remembered his name, too.
Yeah, he had some kind of training. He was legit, though. I think he was legit.
Yeah,
he was strong, too. He was a big guy, too.
He's big, a strong too, guy. Yeah.
I was impressed with him because there was still a size difference. But the next dude that rolled
there was another black belt, I didn't know the story was going to come up, but I wish I knew this guy's name. I wish I knew what all their names. But he was a black belt. He's a Gracie black belt for one of the California locations, and maybe about 140 pounds. I think he said he was about 140 pounds, and he's wrestling a man who's got over 100 pounds on him, and gets taken down, pulls guard, and instantly triangles him. So so fun to watch. I
think he guillotined him once too, didn't he? Arm and guillotine him or something like that.
It's incredible. It's really incredible to watch, but it's funny. I like to watch those videos. I'll go on YouTube.
He was sweeping him. He was butterfly sweeping him. He was just rolling back and just rolling this guy onto his back.
Bradley Martin was getting real thirsty, diving in to get into his guard, and then this dude was just sweeping him backwards.
He was just elevating him. Every time he tried to press forward, he would just float him up and just roll him over. Legit.
Yeah, it was super legit. I loved watching those. I like watching those videos on the internet when you watch D1 wrestler goes into jiu-jitsu academy, or bodybuilder goes. I watched another video where a bodybuilder goes into an academy and they set him up with a female purple belt. And she arm bars him, she guillotines him. I want to say he might have been in a triangle once or twice. She just keeps making him tap, and he keeps getting out. He blacked out once, and they were like, they got to pick the dude's legs up. They're shaking his legs, and get that blood flowing.
Yeah, bro, send that blood back to your brain.
Yeah, it's so funny. Same thing would happen if you go vice versa, right? It's the same thing that would happen if you got a guy who's really good at who does push-ups every day. Calisthenics guy, and then you take a guy who's a bodybuilder and go in, this guy's gonna do more push-ups than him. It's just they should be humbled.
Yeah, it's and that's what I kind of expect from the guy. The guy doesn't really, he doesn't have any technique. Like it's super impressive when you think about it. Like it's like, oh my god, this guy's so small, but really, there's a significant difference in training and technique. And at this point, from just being a fight fan and from training myself for years, it's like I just come to expect that at this point.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's like people gave a lot of credit to guys. I think Gordon Ryan, who's an absolute killer. He's one of the best grapplers, if not the best grappler. He's the best active no-gi jiu-jitsu grappler right now. It's kind of hard. You can't even debate it, really. There are guys I like to watch, but you can't debate it. He beats everybody. Nobody beats this guy. Like, nobody. Like, he taps guys that have barely been taken down in their career. He just takes them and has his way with them. So, and it's crazy to me that he's just like an American kid right in Jersey. He's right there. He's right in Jersey, bro. And he's going to Abu Dhabi and Brazil, and he's strangling everybody. But
America's got good wrestlers, bro.
He's not a wrestler.
We've got a good wrestling foundation, and I wonder if he's got a wrestling foundation.
No, bro.
Was he a breakdancer?
No.
He just went to grappling?
Yeah. As far as I know, I mean, I don't think he has any wrestling. I mean, if he does have wrestling, he doesn't use it much. It's all jiu-jitsu based grappling. But what I was getting at was watching these guys that just I lost my train of thought. But let me see.
Damn, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't pull you away from that.
No, you're good, man.
You were saying what you were saying. I was paying attention, so I can tell you what you were saying is that he's untouchable
because he grappled a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
And beat the dude super easy. Like,
yeah.
And Nicky
so it's
Ryan,
expected.
Yeah, and his brother just grappled like one of the best wrestlers and tapped him in like minutes. And I'm like, yo, this is like not, it would be the same thing if you sit and you take a top-notch D1 NCAA All-American wrestler and you say, Gordon, you can't heel hook, wrestle this guy. That guy's he's gonna probably smash him.
Yeah. So now,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. But when they're different sports. It's like, you could throw 100%. A fastball in 95, but play LeBron James in basketball. It's like, what?
Not the same thing.
It's not the same.
So now, perfect segue. You know the Paul brothers on YouTube, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, right? I don't want to get too cringy. But
that Pokemon shit had me looking for old Pokemon cards.
Oh my god, it had me looking for it too. We could talk about that too.
Yes,
but I do want to talk about, that Logan Paul talks a bunch of shit to Dylan Danish, right? Real quick.
Which is the one with the Impulsive?
Impulsive is Logan.
So Logan is the fighter also?
They both fight.
Oh, okay.
They both fight. Jake is on the undercard for the Tyson fight.
Well, popularity makes money, bro.
Yeah, Jake's on the...
He's going to draw viewers.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, and the other dude drew more views than like major fights.
That was Logan who fought KSI.
But they drew more viewers than like...
a regular fight, yeah, 100%.
They drew like as many fucking, like damn near as many as like Canelo or some shit
if like Joshua that. Fucking...
and Tyson Fury or something.
Yeah, are going to fight, yeah.
If they were to fight, it'd be similar. So go ahead.
But what I was getting to is that he's been Dylan Daniels has been talking shit to him and they've been talking shit back and forth on the internet.
Talking shit about what though?
About fighting. I like Dylan Dennis. I'm not the biggest Dylan Dennis fan because of the way his personality is.
Take it or leave it.
But I will say that Logan's supposed to be like a D1 All-American wrestler. I didn't know this until I watched his podcast the other day. Yeah, the dude supposedly was like best in the state.
Really? So who's this, Logan?
Yeah, Logan.
So Logan has a wrestling background.
Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt it if Jake, they're brothers. I wouldn't doubt if he had a back. I still think Dylan Dennis will put the fucking beats on him no matter what. I think no matter stand up, on the ground, I think he puts the beats on. These guys,
they're a very different size, no? Isn't Logan Paul like 200 pounds?
No, I think he could get. Dylan Dennis fights at 170.
Okay.
So I don't think he's gonna have a problem to fight it. I think he can get down to 170 if not 180. He's not an enormous guy.
Okay.
I want to say he's 6'1", maybe.
All right.
And he's probably is around 200 pounds, but he'll get down to 180.
Okay. That's interesting. So what, you think they're gonna fight?
There's a lot of thing going on between. I think Dylan Dennis is gonna fight some kind of a. He's looking to fight a influencer.
Why?
Because it's good for his business, it's good for his brand. It's not good for his fighting brand. It's going to generate profit. It's going to generate views. It's going to generate money. That's why.
Because he's a fighter. Didn't he fight for Bellator and shit?
He fights for Bellator.
He fights for Bellator.
He just got called out on the card. Last night's card. He got called out.
Who called him out?
Don't even fucking ask me.
I didn't even see that.
No disrespect to the Bellator, fighting organization. I don't follow their organization nearly as much as I follow the UFC, and it's not. I'm not proud of that.
I don't want to say anything bad about Bellator because I love, all fighters that have the guts, the balls and shit to get in that ring and stuff. I give them all the credit in the world.
Yeah,
nothing to do with them.
No, nothing.
What I'm saying, for some reason, I just can't get myself to really give a fuck about Bellator. I try. I mean, shit. I talked to you yesterday. I had all intentions of watching that card last night.
You called me.
I called you to tell you. 11 o'clock hit, and I'm like, supposed to be doing something.
So Chris Cyborg, if you guys don't know, Chris Cyborg fought last night. She no longer fights in the UFC. She's fighting in Bellator now. One thing, I did watch it. Did you watch it?
No,
I'm gonna tell you.
I saw the very end. I saw the highlight when she caught the rear naked
She
choke.
rear naked chokes. She flattens this girl out.
That was her first submission of her
beats
career.
Up, first submission of her career. Beats her up. She goes down, takes her back, flattens her out, and chokes her out. And I don't even think she was under the chin. And from my angle, I watched it, so I didn't watch it again. It didn't look like she was under the chin. Maybe she wasn't. She'd make me tap on the chin, no doubt about it. So I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the things
I'm more likely to tap if it's crushing my face than I am if it's cutting off the blood. If there's a ref there, I mean, if we're in the street, yeah, I'm not going to tap if you're crushing my face.
Yeah.
There's no tapping. You're in the fucking street.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a ring and I know that there's a ref that's not going to let you kill me right now.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to tap.
But if you start snapping my teeth off and shit like that because you're crushing my face, nah.
Dude, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of fighters specifically who say that, as a professional athlete, things like that can't happen. Not necessarily in this situation, because from me watching the fight in the middle of the night and seeing it replay twice, I don't think she was under the chin. But I could go back to the Tyron Woodley fight where the dude breaks a rib. There was fighters that felt like that things like that should, like, you at a professional level, you can't tap for things like that, or you can't stop for things like that.
I might have to disagree with that with the rib, because with the rib, that might just sound like, oh, it's a broken rib. It's not, you still got your arms and your legs. Yeah, but if that rib starts pointing in weird directions and you puncture a lung, you get a pneumothorax. It's a big deal. You get a collapsed
lung. Is that a Pokemon? The pneumothorax? What the fuck is that? Tell us now, because now we all have to know. Because the second you said it, I immediately said to myself, how do you catch one of those? What is a pneumothorax?
It's a punctured lung. Your lungs operate based on pressure, and there's pressure like outside of your lungs as well, right? So you have to maintain a certain amount of pressure inside your lungs. So what happens is if your rib punctures it, then releases whatever it's called, like there's always like some tidal volume, some residual air that's in your lungs. That's where knocking the wind out of you comes from. If you get slammed on your back and that little bit of air that your lungs always have comes out, you're really like, because you're really like gasping,
really
because
empty, yeah.
Exactly. So it causes your lung to just like collapse. Like your lung will just like fold up because it interrupts that pressure balance between inside and outside of the lungs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of a bro way of explaining it. I mean, I'm not a pulmonologist, but
we could go back to the Pokemon conversation since I made that Pokemon reference.
But so my conclusion is that I at first I was a little annoyed with Tyron Woodley for quitting just because I was just annoyed. But it is a dangerous injury. I mean, I've tapped from an intercostal muscle tear, getting stacked. Training jiu-jitsu, I've tapped and had to stop training, and that wasn't even that was the muscle in between my ribs. It wasn't my
broken rib.
It wasn't my rib, but because Anthony Pettis, same thing happened when he fought Tony Ferguson. He popped a rib too and he stopped. Tony Ferguson, I think, had some nasty like mounted body triangle on him or some crazy ridiculous shit. It was just crushing him like a fucking anaconda. So he just, he was just like, ah, and he tapped, and then you saw him, he was just in pain. So, but yeah, so I can't find my old Pokemon cards, man.
I can't find mine either. We were talking about Logan Paul, and
this guy got me feeling like I could change my life with some Pokemon cards.
He was number one trending on YouTube, and his video, I think he earned like I don't want to say the wrong number, like over $100,000 in donations. That's what they were doing it for. They were raising money to donate in the live stream. However, those cards were sold to individuals. For the guys that don't know, Logan Paul bought one of the like OG first edition Pokemon like boxes that have like a bunch of the smaller packs.
It's a booster box.
A booster box. Thank you very fucking much.
Got you.
Yeah. Remember the Yu-Gi-Oh tins? So he bought a booster box, and he opened every single pack on air. All those packs were sold to other individuals prior to being opened. pulled out one first edition Charizard. He pulled out 3 Chanseys. These are all first edition cards because the first edition booster pack. Yeah. Pulled out
So a Venusaur in there.
there was all 3 final evolutions of the starter. So he pulled out first edition Blastoise, first edition, and these are all guessing to be PSA 10 level cards. So 10 out of 10 when it comes to the PSA ranking. They think that they're gonna come back as 10s.
What's PSA like the authenticating?
Yes, so there's
body?
like PSA or GBA, and they're just they're exactly that. The authenticating body is somebody who's going to grade the card on a scale to 1 to 10, and 10 being the highest, a perfect card, and anything, a simple like little wrinkle in the card can make it a 9 or even an 8. Super important.
That's what I'm talking about. Centering.
Oh, that's okay. So there's a couple different things. Centering is the way that the frame of the Pokemon, not the card itself, the Pokemon like sits into the card itself. So sometimes it could be a little bit cocked to the left. They even go down to the first edition stamp, because when the printer's running lower on ink, it goes from like a gray to a white, or it like gets a lighter color. Just like when you get receipts at the supermarket, the bottom of the receipt is like discolored, or it's like it's like fading into the receipt. Same thing, because they're printing these cards. So when you stamp that first edition, it's got a little less juice than the last one, so on and so forth. There's a lot of big things. He put up another video. I think I watched it yesterday. I'm almost ashamed to say that I'm not subscribed, but whatever. I watch every once in a while.
You're not subscribed?
No, I'm not. But you know what? He comes in my feed anyways. Listen, I don't mind Logan Paul. I forgive him for what he did in Japan. It is what it is. I'm not.
Is it bad that I don't really care about that?
I don't
really give a fuck about that.
He was so young, and it's like
I don't really give a fuck about that.
I don't give a fuck either.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't. I still watch myself. So obviously, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Who cares? People have done way worse shit.
People love to be
Got people
outraged.
running around that have committed all kinds of heinous crimes, and nobody cares. Got politicians that are pedophiles and rapists, and
I was just gonna say, how many pedophiles and rapists we've forgiven?
He filmed a dead dude that wanted to die. He didn't film a murder victim. He filmed a guy that wanted to kill himself, was hanging there. He stumbled upon it. It's not like he was like...
He put himself there. I don't want to say the guy's completely innocent, but I'm just not as upset as everybody else.
Yeah, I don't think it was as crazy as everybody makes it sound. I mean, he didn't kill the guy. The guy was dead already.
He did fuck up, but it wasn't a fuck up that it's unforgivable, and it's like...
I don't know.
Maybe you think he fucked up?
I don't even give a fuck, really.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
I really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think it's... I think...
But that means you're indifferent. It doesn't mean that you don't think that he didn't do it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that what he did is a good thing, or it's cool, or I would do it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it was a smart thing to do, and I definitely would have been like, ew, whoa, that guy's dead. Let me call somebody. Like,
I just wouldn't go to a forest where people are known to commit suicide at. And film.
It's a little scary. It's a little creepy.
Yo, I hate being fucking...
I mean, my girl wants to go to Salem for Halloween. She wants to go to Salem, like, where they used to, like...
Do the witch trials?
Do the witch trials and shit with that dumbass shit where they're like, oh, if we throw you in the water tied up and you drown, you're not a witch. Bet you don't drown.
You know what happens? They all drown.
So, what the fuck?
That's the dumbest shit. We were so stupid as humans at one point.
Bro, that was not long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was not, bro.
Dude, it wasn't that. There's so many things that are we never finished talking about the Pokemon thing.
Yes, finish. I'm sorry. I sidetracked freaking Simon over here.
Lightning quick. I'm going to make it super quick.
It quick, man. Take your time, bro.
The video comes out. He pulls out all 3 starter final evolutions, first edition, thought to be PSA 10 cards. Pulls out a couple Chanseys.
So that's what Charizard, Wartortle, and Venusaur?
Charizard, Blastoise. And Venusaur.
Okay.
Yeah, he pulls out a couple Chanseys. He pulls out a couple, like the Bulbasaur, non-hollow, but still first edition. Still a very expensive card. What else does he get?
Charmanders and Yellow Cheek Pikachus.
He got a bunch of Yellow Cheek Pikachus. He got a bunch of not a bunch, but he did get a couple Charmanders. He got a Squirtle. Every time he gets a Squirtle, he references a Squirtle tattoo. So now it's like every time I hear Squirtle, I just think about his Squirtle tattoo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it was a good stream. He raised a lot of money, and it really was. It brought a lot of attention to everybody who used to collect Pokemon cards, and now went to go look for them, because we just found out that if you got a PSA 10 first edition Charizard from the 90s or whatever, you're sitting on $200,000. He just bought one for
150.
150. Okay, so yeah, he just bought one for $150,000, and it wasn't even the most expensive card.
That's wild. I was in my mom's attic for like 2 hours the other day.
I took apart my entire storage. I found a bunch.
I'm going back.
Are you going back?
Yeah, I'm going back.
I my binder has to be somewhere. I can't find it. As a kid, get this. I'll tell you. We want to hear a fucking
I'm
story.
hoping I didn't give it away. I
I
started
gave away a
having
lot
this
of cards.
thought that I gave away that thing to somebody's little brother or somebody when I was like, oh man, I don't like take this shit. I'm not doing nothing with
And
this.
they just fucked them up.
They probably have them right now. You're gonna see a biggest freaking collection of holographic cards, man. I had everything, bro. I had everything, man. I had like Mewtwo's and like fucking and multiple Charizards. I had multiple Blastoise. I had multiple Venusaurs. I had Chanseys. I had every fucking thing. I had what was the big snake shit, the Hydra looking shit in the water.
Gyarados. He
Gyarados.
also pulled a Gyarados
Yes,
out.
I had Gyarados. I had everything, bro. I had everything, man. I used to go to the Smith Haven Mall, bro, to the comic book store, Planet Comics. And I used to just go over there when all the long-haired kids in the Jankos were playing Magic the Gathering in the food court.
Yeah.
And I used to go over there and buy my Pokemon cards, bro.
That's sick.
Yep.
Funny story about my Pokemon cards when I was a kid, and I hope this never happens to any kid I know. It's not gonna happen to my fucking kid because I do what I have to do for my kid. But I will tell you one thing that's interesting. What that happened to me that's kind of a funny story. My Pokemon cards, just like all of my friends' Pokemon cards, just like my bike at one point, and I'm sure your bike at one point was stolen. My whole binder.
I actually got lucky.
You've never got lost a bike? I don't want to digress from the story, but you never
No.
lost a bike?
Nope.
Crazy.
Never left it out though either.
Oh, I'll tell you the one time I got my bike stolen after this. So my binder goes missing. I don't know how this guy got my binder, but he got it. And so I'm outside my house and somebody passes by, another dude, and he goes, "Yo, you know so-and-so behind that abandoned house, like going through your binder." I said, "What?" So I head to the abandoned house. I go to the backyard and I find one of my mans.
You ain't think that was a setup?
Bro, I didn't have my binder and I needed that.
Okay.
And the dude who he told me about was a known thief. You know when there's a listen, when you grow up in a certain neighborhood or when you grow up in certain places, you don't choose your friends. It's the people in the neighborhood. You either like you don't get to. This is what people don't understand. Like listen, if you're an adult and you're hanging out with people and you don't fucking like them, stop fucking hanging out with those people because you don't fucking have to. We don't take the bus together every day, motherfucker. I don't have to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Then when you're living in a neighborhood, you kind of have to be certain friends with certain people because what are you gonna not have any friends? Yeah. So this guy was a known thief. Wasn't a bad kid. He used to steal from people. He was a piece of shit. So when they told me, yo, so and so's back there, it was like, oh, I wasn't afraid that this guy was gonna beat me up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a tough guy, but I just knew that
Like, oh, Day with the one shoe?
Yes,
He got my binder?
exactly.
Fuck that.
And this kid's house was the same house that I've seen more cockroaches than he was like one of those houses, parents smoke inside, brother sells dope kind of house. So,
Mom go in the bedroom mad and slam the towel.
Mom's
that's hanging
never
over the
home,
door.
bro.
'Cause
Mom's
ain't no
never
doors.
home. So I go to the back of the house. The dude's going through my Pokemon cards. I'm like, what are you doing? He runs out. He runs. This is the neighborhood. He jumps over the fence behind that house and goes to the other neighbor's yard and leaves all my cards there. I pick up all my cards, head home, got my binder back. Same binder that I still have till this day, which I cannot find. So I don't even know if I still have it, but it's somewhere.
He came back.
He never came back. He one day, I'm not gonna say I ever tried to rob him. One day he was getting robbed. He pulled a screwdriver out of his binder and will never forget it. From this day on, this kid was a little fucking, he was through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he pulled a screwdriver out of his binder, and he had always had the Game Boys with the good games, and he always had the ill Pokemon cards, ill Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Played Magic the Gathering. I never got into it, but he was big into that. And from that day, everybody was like, "Yo, don't mess with the screwdriver." We used to, I don't want to say his name, whatever, but we used to call him a bunch of funny. Oh, we used to call him Fagmar because he kept playing Pokemon even
Magmar?
after. Yes, because he kept playing Pokemon after we all stopped playing, and we be playing ball in the streets. I mean, yo, look at his Fagmars down there. That's a real thing. Like we were used to call, like they used to call him that.
And that was back in the day.
Back in the day, I would never call him that now. Honestly, if I see him today, you know, I never. We were still friends after he robbed me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're, you know, like I said, you don't pick who you get to hang out with.
Yeah.
But it was super interesting.
That's hilarious. I dare you.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think when you're saying when you were talking about you talking about with the screwdriver, bro. That's scary, man. I knew a dude from my buddy's neighborhood, man. He's like doing like life because he like panicked in a fight and like stuck a dude with a screwdriver and
Really?
killed him, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, sometimes just wrong place, wrong time. He was getting beat up and shit by like multiple people.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do at that point? At that point, when you're getting beat up by multiple people, I mean, what's your options? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'll tell you one thing. The law says one thing, but
That's why I run every day.
yeah,
If you could catch me, bro,
you're gonna have to
I run
catch
5
me
miles,
first.
6 miles. If you could catch me, bro, if you could run a 6-minute mile, you might have a shot.
Yeah. Usually, people that put themselves in those situations aren't. I don't think they're very good runners.
True. I mean, yeah.
Some people are naturally gifted, but it's neither here nor
That's
there. I don't even want to talk about that anymore.
I saw a dude boat on the cops one time, handcuffed behind his back, and they couldn't catch him.
Really?
Yep. He was running, high stepping it with his hands behind his back, and they couldn't catch him, bro. He was dusting 2 police officers on foot with no hands.
That guy with both his hands in front of him is unstoppable.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. He jumped the fence with his hands behind his back.
Like a dolphin?
Yo, like a salmon upstream. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, bro. Jumped the fence with
Like
no
a
hands.
fucking salmon?
I'm telling you right now, bro. If my man was there. We seen him. He ran right around my buddy's house, right around the side of the house, and was just high stepping it, bro, leaning back like, just out, bro. And they could not catch him, man.
Dude, I love watching shit like that
Could
on the
not
internet.
catch
Did
him,
you
man.
see the video the video of the guy who during all the riots and everything, he was getting arrested. Then somebody comes and pushes, and I don't condone this, I'm just saying that it fucking happened. Don't come for me, right? I'm not out there. This guy's getting arrested, and the other protesters come up, push the cop down, and the guy gets up, starts running. A car comes up, and my man, upstream salmon, jumps into the front window, bro.
Who does?
The guy in cuffs gets in the front window.
That's not real.
And it's 100% real. First of all, the shit that happened in 2020, that's like the least crazy thing that happened.
That's
that was
wild shit, though.
That was the mildest thing on the internet,
They were
bro.
like, what the hell? This motherfucker worked for Cirque du Soleil?
He got in the car and dipped.
Damn. He drove the shit?
No. They picked him up.
Oh, so this was planned. I'm picturing carjacking somebody with no hands, just diving in the window and be like, get out of the car.
Nah,
and
this
like
guy was
peeling off with one
this
foot.
guy was getting arrested, and he was near there was a car there, and he got in the car and he skirted off, and it was pretty impressive, honestly. I thought it was impressive, at least.
Damn, that sounds impressive to me.
It's in the what he did was impressive, like him being able to jump into the car. And some people look at this like, you guys are fucking idiots. That's not impressive. That's just fucking some criminal, blah, blah,
impressive.
blah. It's fucking, you tie your fucking hands behind your back and run into a moving car.
Bet you lose all the skin on your back. Get out of here, hitting the fucking
Oh,
top
fuck
of that,
outta
hitting
here.
the window track. I don't want to hear shit. That's
It's
a
not
skill.
easy to jump into. I've jumped into cars and I didn't have my hands behind my back and done it unsuccessfully before. That shit ain't easy.
So you didn't jump in. You tried.
I've tried to jump in. I've successfully gotten in
Yeah.
before too. But just like you said, you got to remember that you're going into a car, and then it's not the level of the car. You got to go in. It's underneath
Yeah,
the
you need
window.
an immediate drop.
Yes.
Because if not, you're hitting the other door, or you're
Yes.
hitting the center console. You're landing in the cup holder, losing your teeth.
Oh my
You don't
god,
want
bro!
no part of
Everything's
that.
hard and plastic in there. Yeah, 100%.
No way. Catch an e-brake, impale yourself.
Oh my god!
No thanks.
I was once in a car with somebody, and this was in my this was when I was at the height of my career with women, right? And I was in the peak, and it's me and my man, and he's driving a Hyundai Elantra. This is his mother's Hyundai Elantra that we just decided to put like subwoofers and shit in. His mom this was his mom's car.
You got his mom's
She
car.
let us
His mom's
borrow
on the
it.
Elantra cambered and shit.
Yeah, she let us borrow it, and we were putting subwoofers in it, putting aftermarket radios, just going in this Hyundai Elantra.
It's a lease.
Yeah. He used to show up to pick me up at school and rip the e-brake at like 40 miles an hour in the parking lot, but pick me up. He would come up here and just like drift into me. And then I used to think it was the funniest thing ever. In hindsight, it was the most dangerous thing we've ever done. To go into the store, he's in the front seat driving. We're driving to a park or something or whatever, and there's some girls in the back seat, and you know, I feel like I got to get back there and get into some action or whatever. I go to get into the back seat, and I just grab the first thing I can to lean on it to get me to get into the back seat. I grab the steering wheel. Now,
While the vehicle's moving?
we're driving on a street.
How drunk were you?
We weren't. It's midday. I grabbed the steering wheel. That's a possibility. I grabbed the steering wheel and I fuck it. And yo, my friend's so player. This is my man. This is my best friend. He's so player. He doesn't even say anything. He just grips it like a man. And then I'm coming back out of the back seat and he goes, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "What?" And I realized I was grabbing the steering wheel. I was like,
Again?
"Whoa, I realized I was taking my hand off the steering wheel and I was getting back in the front seat. And I was like, wow, that was insane. I could have killed us all.
That's some pretty stupid shit.
It was so stupid.
My lord.
Yeah, I'm
Me gosh. That's some stupid shit,
not even sure if we had licenses.
Wow.
Licenses. No.
Nobody had
but-
license. And my mom thought I had I had him thinking like a learner's permit was like,
Oh, you swung that in your house?
bro, are you kidding me? Yo, I was driving for mad long until like my parents went to like a defensive driving class. I did that shit for like a year, you know, and then I got a junior license and I was like, oh yeah, and now I could drive everywhere.
I had a junior's license
I was
too.
like, I could drive everywhere. I don't even need anybody in the car with me. And they were like, oh, cool. They thought like junior meant just because I was like a teenager. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't a fully licensed driver yet. I still had to be in the car. I had to like only drive to work and school. I think it was like the only two places you could
You
drive.
can't drive after 9 p.m. For the guys that don't live in New
True.
York State, if you're 17 years old and you had a permit, you can get a junior's license, which enables you to drive to work and just. Excuse me. I prefer you could drive anywhere. You just can't drive after 9 p.m.
No, I think it's work and school.
Work and school. Okay, and you also can't drive after 9 p.m. I remember that
Yes,
being a rule.
that too. And that was the reason I got in deep shit.
I remember that's why you. But so you could get a junior's license. I had my junior's license. You had your junior's license. Having a car at that age it's such like a pleasure. It's such a
It's a
privilege.
Yeah, for sure.
It's such a privilege. You know, like I said, my best friend, he used to use his mom's car. He ended up getting that car. I'm pretty sure, like after we put the subwoofers in it, we've destroyed that car.
Yeah.
But he ended up getting that car. He drove it around for a little bit. It was his sister he was sharing it with. But regardless, before he had that, I think I had a car first. I want to say I had a car first. And just us having cars, when you talk about 17-year-olds, you know, when you're 17-year-olds, it was one thing you want to do. You want to crush Tang.
That's right.
That's it. Nothing
That's
else.
right. You'll drive across the country and think you can make it back by the next day.
Bro,
Like, oh, Texas? That's a day trip.
me and this guy would drive anywhere. We were
Upstate colleges. everywhere.
upstate. We put 6 people in a G35 once. I'm not even joking. Two
You
of us,
guys are screaming to get pulled over. So.
and we drove about. I'll tell you, we drove from Queens. We were in Vaughn College. We drove from Queens, Vaughn College, which I thought it was like an Ivy League school when I got there. It turns out it's like a technical institute to be a pilot or something like that.
That's like the only like 6-month school with dorms.
Yeah, so they did have dorms, and we went to the dorms or whatever. We picked up these girls, and we drove all the way back to our house. He ended up throwing up all over me, and then not wanting to go back inside the house, and then threw up in my bed. But we had a good time. This is, you know, you're 17 years old, you're stealing alcohol from your parents, and you know
You're filling it up with water and
Yeah.
not getting caught until you fill it up so much with water that it freezes in the freezer.
Exactly.
And then questions arise.
And then they're like, wait, what's going on over here, Bobby? But you know, I had a twin size bed at the time. This dude's good times, but it's just it was a different world.
Yeah. Going out to college, bro. That's going out to like college to visit people, because I didn't go to college right out of high school. I didn't go to college until I was
Wait,
already
you
an
didn't
adult.
go straight to from high school? You didn't go straight to obviously now I know
No.
you're Mr. Big D double bachelor guy.
Get outta here.
You know, doing big things. He's
Get
got.
outta here,
I don't
get
really
outta
want to
here.
get into his business, but he's got a bunch of fucking initials after his fucking name.
Don't listen to this.
This guy's
guy.
got a ton of names, a ton of fucking symbols and shit after his name. But
No.
you didn't go from high school straight to college.
No.
What? How long did you take off?
I think I took a couple classes, failed a bunch of them, and just like stopped going.
But you enrolled.
And then I got a settlement.
You enrolled.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So you enrolled. Okay, I enrolled. I went from school. My first year of college was really good because my best friend wasn't in college yet. The year after that, my best friend got into the same college that I was going to. And then we kind of both weren't really going to college. But he's the kind of student that doesn't need to go to class, and he still passes.
Got you.
I'm not like that.
Me neither.
But I ended up doing the same thing you did. I stopped going and I went back and completed it. And, you know,
That's
now
what
my
I
mother's
ended up
proud
doing.
of me just like your mother's proud of you.
Exactly. But still, she's like, shave your face. I'm like,
Your mom wants you to shave your beard?
oh my God. She wants me to shave my beard all the time.
What did your mom say to you?
That she she hates it. That I look dirty. I look homeless. I look like all kinds of shit.
No, I think it's the new. It's you gotta tell her.
I tell her, and
it's
she's
la
like,
moda.
no. Te está tapando la cara. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
No, it's the style nowadays.
And then when
It's
I
just a
shave,
look.
when I do shave, if I like trim it down, she's like, "Ahí está mi nene, ven aquí mi nene." I'm like,
That's so funny. Yeah, that's exactly the way it is.
Así recortado,
Yeah.
limpiecito, papi.
Yeah,
ven aquí, mi
looking
niño.
handsome. She's proud of you, man.
I'm like, come on, ma. Come on, ma.
I want you to talk to me about getting a settlement at a young age, and what a young man. How old were you?
What happened was I had gotten a settlement from when I was way younger.
Okay.
When I was in third grade, a doctor wrote a prescription for medication for me, and the pharmacist misplaced a decimal on the prescription. So instead of getting 0.25 milligrams of this medication per dose, I got 25 milligrams of this medication.
Not a mistake that a pharmacist should make.
Not 0.25. I got 25.
You know, that means that he moved that decimal a couple places over.
Yeah. And this is the reason why the electronic medical records and all that kind of stuff and electronic script, prescribing and stuff like that is a thing now because it eliminates human error like that.
Yeah.
But so I ended up getting overdosed on this medication. I spent like a week in the hospital. I ended up, being okay after that. At least I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people might disagree.
Yeah.
But
Your elbow still clicks.
yeah, yeah, something like that.
It does. It clicks.
But yeah, so I ended up getting a settlement that I couldn't. It wasn't much. I think it was like 15 grand or something. But by the time I turned 18 and was able to get the money, it had turned into like 19,000 or something like that, 20,000. So my parents urged me not to touch it when I was 18. Of course, I was 18. I was like, it's my money. I took it and I started taking it out and just spent it. And I pretty much blew that money inside 2 years.
Isn't it insane?
I blew through about 20 grand in a couple years, just stupid shit. Giving my friends money, buying stupid shit. I did buy a car, which, at the time was good. I ended up paying it off and everything eventually. And then
You bought the black car you had, the black coupe?
yes.
Okay, but you already had your other blue car before
Yes,
then.
exactly. So, and I had fixed that up. I got it painted, stuff like that,
Can we talk about that car?
about my old Buick.
Justin had a powder blue.
But anyway, I blew all the money. So that's what it was. I blew all the money. I was a stupid kid, and I was depressed about it for a long time after I hit like my mid-20s. I was like, damn, that was a stupid idea. I could have been, something that could have invested that money. I could have done something that could have bought a house, down payment on a house. Of course, with your adult brain, that's what you think
Yeah.
about. That's why it's ridiculous, because I don't think that a guy knows shit about life at all and doesn't know dick about the planet till he's 30. Like, straight up.
I was fucking stupid. I'm still stupid.
I'm still stupid
But
as
I was
fuck.
way dumber at 25 than I am now
Forget
that I'm
it.
30.
Now imagine somebody gave you 20 G's at 18. What? You probably would have just bought a car. You would have bought like a souped up ass car and raced that shit,
If you would have given me... All right, so let's just...
I want to get in here.
You want to go in there? Yeah, sure, man. Is there... I think that was the only one in there.
That was the only one of these, but I put my own in here.
Oh, Benas. So...
Pass me that lighter.
Yes.
Let's go
So, real quick. If... Oh, Oh, my coffee, my espresso. If you would have given me 20 G's at 19, 20 years old,
Thank you, my friend.
yeah, I know exactly what I would have bought. At the time, that's when the Evo 10 came out. You know, if to get an Evo 10, you had to, you know, they were expensive. You got to, they weren't cheap. That's what I would have gotten.
Yeah, I can imagine, but you know, it was just that would have even been smarter because at least you would have had something that at least would have had a little bit of value. You could
That
still-
car, Evo 10,
yeah, you could still
still
sell it.
25 grand
Yeah, so you
for
know,
a shitty one.
Yeah,
Still, there's certain cars that just
it's like an S2000. Like an S2000.
S2000 still holds their value. I love this topic. Fun fact. You never know what's going to happen when you buy a car. Right now, perfect example, the new Supra comes out, $60,000 for the launch edition. They went over, nobody got it for that. Everybody bought it over sticker. It's about a $50,000 car right now, maybe 47,000. Let's just say 50 grand. $50,000 car, right? I like it. I think it's a good car. People are buying this car right now. Some people are buying it and they're putting it away.
So it's out already, or
It's
it's
out
like
already, 2020. 2020 it came
Okay.
out, right? So last Supra came, the last generation Supra that came out, I want to say 2099, one of those, like 99, 2000. The Supra hasn't been out in a while. So here we are, 20 some odd years later, or some odd teens years later, new one comes out, 2020. We don't know if this Supra is gonna be a timeless Japanese classic car like the last Supra was. Nobody gave a fuck about the two Supras before that Supra, right? Same thing happened with the RX-7. You got, you know, the RX-7, the FD, which is like the infamous RX-7. It's the one that Vin Diesel drove in the first Fast and the Furious, the red one. There's still a 20 to 30, 20,000 plus car. Talking about a car that came out 1994.
Wow.
And a car with no engine in it, no motor, a shell that just rolls, you're looking at 10 to 15 grand depending on the condition of it. A really crappy one, 25,000 that runs. A pristine condition one, 35,000, and then you get one with low mileage, so basically, you know, almost brand new, 50 grand, 40 something thousand. Same thing. So you never know. So my point is that you don't know where these cars are going to go. So when you buy them, sometimes when I had a Mazda Speed 3.
You mean when they re-release one that used to be popular,
when they make
or a
any
car
car,
in general?
when they make any car, you never know what's going to happen to it. Say, when people bought these first Chargers that came out and probably thought that they were going to be, you know, collector's editions, they ended up not being. Maybe if you buy a Hellcat or you buy a Demon, those will be, you know, still expensive cars, but they're not going to retain their value the same way these cars did. And they have the allure, but they're not going to hold their value. You buy cars like nobody knew, or at least I don't think that they knew that the GTRs, the Nissan GTRs, were going to go up in price to where they're going to. They're skyrocketing in price right now. People are going out, going into Japan, buying R34 GTRs for 60 some odd thousand, $70,000, $100,000, and they can't even bring them into the country yet. They're buying them and storing them out there, and because their prices are going up. You're talking about, you look at an R32 GTR, you could have bought one a couple years ago for 20 grand. Now you can't get one for under 35.
So let me ask you something. When you say they're buying them over there, you mean Americans are buying the car in
Americans-
Japan and just paying for storage there until it's possible to bring it here?
100%.
And why can't we bring it here?
There's a 25-year rule on certain cars that weren't made to come to the United States, and you have to wait You have to wait 25 from the date of production, 25 years. So, for example, right now we're in 2020, 1996 cars, because they were released in 96 but produced in 95. Those cars are coming out sometimes, but sometimes you don't want the 96. Sometimes first year car comes out. There's the first batch of cars comes out half the year, and then they make one little alteration, and the next year comes out.
What?
So 100%, bro. If you buy an RX-7 depending on what year and package you get, you're gonna get a different car. If you buy, even right now, you go to Nissan right now and you buy a 2009 GTR, and then you go buy a 2012 GTR. It's a different car. They made improvements to the car. They made changes to the car.
That's
it's not
true.
the same.
Even if it's not visually,
yeah, 100%.
there's something that's different.
And you might not see it, but I see.
But
I
like
see
the speaker
difference.
placement is different, or
Dude,
like the computer is different.
100%. Things like I could look at a Nissan 300ZX and get inside of it and say, okay, this car was made before X year. Because I look at it and I could, there's little things. Oh,
There might be
there's no
one
digital
thing
cluster.
that didn't happen until
Yeah.
a specific year.
And people are like that with the RX-7s. People are like that with the GTRs. They'll say things like, it's modern day cars. I look at a Mazda Speed 3, right? I look at a Mazda Speed 3. It's white. Okay, they didn't make the white one in 2010. That's a fact. They didn't make a white Mazda Speed 3 in 2010. I look at a Mazda Speed 3 and it's white. I'm like, all right, that has to be a 2011 to 2015 because that's when they made those colors. Things like that. So when you're importing cars or when people are buying cars, they're looking for specific years, they're looking for specific cars. You're going to put that kind of money to a car. You want something that's going to hold their value. True. Or you're going to buy it and ruin it, and it's not going to hold any value. So when it comes to people buying cars, there's a lot of people that are going to Japan right now, and they're either importing a car and this has been happening for ages, but now what's happening is that the prices are going up. People have more money they could spend on like things like this now. So people are going to Japan and they're reserving R34 GTRs, which is for the people who don't know what an R34 GTR, it's a Nissan GTR. You could Google it. It's the same car that Brian O'Connor drove. It was the gray one from the Too Fast, Too Furious that he pulled up to in the beginning of it. It was gray with the blue, it had like blue stripes down the side. Beautiful car. It's Gonzilla. It's the pinnacle of Japanese racing, like or tuner cars. No car. Some people might say the Supra is an iconic Japanese, sports car, but the R34 GTR is really the Mona Lisa of Japanese race cars. It isn't even my favorite one, but it just is what it is. It's Gonzilla. Still a platform that people are pulling out of Japanese cars and putting it into other cars till this day.
See, I just remember the GTR. I remember because I used to follow that dude, Devin Physique.
Okay.
So that was like, when I saw that car, that was like the first time I really ever saw like a modern GTR, like something that was like, like I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I saw it, I was like, what?
They're really cool cars, and now they only make GTRs. But if you're interested in getting one of these cars, GTR back in the day was the echelons of that platform. So they made Nissan Skylines. Then you could get a Skyline, you could get a GTT, you could get a GTST, you could get a Type M, and at the tippy top was the GTR. And then within the GTRs, there's like, different packages within the GTRs too.
Sure.
It was the same thing as if you're going to go get, today, you go to Subaru, you're like, I want a Subaru Impreza. Do you want a Subaru Impreza? You want a Subaru Impreza WRX? Do you want a Subaru Impreza STI?
Yeah.
And then when you get the STI, okay, you want the big brake package, you want the premium edition. Same thing with Audi. You get an A5, an S5, an RS5, and then even within the RS5, you're gonna get a base, you're gonna get a premium plus, or you're gonna get a prestige.
True.
So there's so many different factors. I won't go down this wormhole, but I will tell you that there's a lot of money to be made right now in Japanese cars, and putting into them and not doing anything to them, just letting them sit, man. Not just Japanese cars, European cars too. I think that Japanese cars being the dominant cars of those years, you talk about who was successful in those years, it was Japan. You talk about how the United States even started getting better at producing cars. It was because Japan came to the United States and showed them, that Six Sigma lean stuff and showed them how to produce cars efficiently.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to get into that. But yeah, big money in Japanese cars. Some German cars too.
Got something I want to ask your opinion on now that we're talking about this.
Okay.
And we're talking about cars, a little segue into something. Now, you're saying that these people are buying cars and essentially storing them there until they're able to bring them here. And these are gas-powered vehicles, clearly, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about, Gavin Newsom, the guy that's the governor of California?
Okay.
He's the guy that's destroying that state. I don't know how you
I'm
feel
familiar
about
with him.
that. Okay. Did you hear that by 2035, he's trying to outlaw gas vehicles? By 2035, he wants them all gone. Like, he's signing into legislation that's going to be the thing. Like, you can no longer have a vehicle that's gas powered.
My opinion on this?
I mean, do you think it's not what you think about it, if it's right or wrong, more so if you think this is something that's possible?
He's banking on the electric car market to really take over. And if you look at even the hybrid market, they're not cheap cars and they don't last as long, right? You look at a Tesla and you buy a Tesla and the range is 250 miles, right? When you bring that Tesla back and you leased it, that range isn't there anymore because the battery life isn't there anymore.
Yeah, it's like a cell phone.
Yeah.
Stops holding charge the same, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Shit like that.
Exactly. Your range goes down. And
Yeah.
I don't have anything against Teslas. Mm-hmm. I would own a Tesla.
But not if it was your only car.
Bingo. Not if it was my only car. I think they're cool cars. I think it's a rich man's game right now.
It's like a status symbol more so than anything truly, truly functional. Like, if you have a long commute and you sit in traffic, do you want to be driving a fucking Tesla? I don't.
I don't know. So
I'd be scared all the time my battery's going to die.
No, I think they're really responsible in the sense you know where you're going. You know what you got going on. You know when you get in that car and you leave your house, you got 150 miles. You know your job's 30 miles away. 60 miles round trip. That's fine. Obviously, you're not rushing to. You're not gonna go watch the Lakers game in LA. From over here and just driving all night. You're definitely not doing that, dude. You're not going to Boston. From New York to Boston on that either. Like, you're not going you have to stop and recharging, and the recharge time is not terribly long. They're not bad cars. It's just not feasible. He's really banking on that technology to take over. Another thing is like, we're talking about batteries and having to what are we going to do with all these batteries? And I'm not like this, like, I'm not an environmentalist. I care for the environment, but I don't have a strong opinion. I'm not here to push an environmental narrative.
You're just thinking about potential issues.
Yeah. How do you make these batteries? Is it harmful to the environment to produce batteries?
Unobtainium. You go to where the avatars are at.
Okay.
You dig up that shit and you bring that shit over here.
And you make batteries.
I don't know how the fuck you make a battery.
I don't know how to make a battery either. But I don't know if making how do you produce a battery? Good example, right? Or an analogy. They outlawed bags in New York, right? Now you can't get a bag at the supermarket, or maybe it's just on Long Island.
Yeah, it's actually Suffolk and Nassau.
Suffolk and Nassau.
I don't even think they do it in the city.
They live by this. It's a fucking Wild West over there, anyways. So you can't get plastic bags anymore, right? So now everybody's walking around with these tote bags. What if it's more harmful for the environment to produce tote bags than it is the byproduct from the plastic bags? And everybody is under this assumption, I'm saving the environment, when no, you're just spending more money on these bags and the production. And I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just saying that what if this is happening? It's the same thing with electric cars. What if the production of electric cars is more harmful to the environment than the driving around on gas cars? What are the numbers really looking like? It's like the people who say, we have all these cows, all the methane gas, and then the ozone is eating up the ozone, when it's like, the cows attribute to 3% of the methane.
Yeah, that was propaganda.
That's yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think it's stupid. First of all, don't tell people what they have to fucking do, what they have to do. I will drive around on whatever the fuck I want to drive around in. And you know what? With me, I'm gonna be driving a gasser for the rest of my life. Yeah. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll have a daily driver that's electric. I'm Will Smith in fucking iRobot. He shows up with the motorcycle at the end.
Yeah.
And the girl goes, "You have to put gas in this thing?" And everybody's driving electric. He's on the motorcycle.
Word.
That's me, bro. I'm not gonna give up and go to the electric world. Do I think it's cool? Yeah, it's cool. Those cars are fucking fast. Instant torque. They make a lot of power. One of our friends that we know, loves Teslas, and we never even talked about this. And he owns a Tesla now, and I always see him posting about Tesla.
That's right. He always does. He always does.
And I never want to get into a debate with him online. I never want to get into a debate with anybody online because people don't really know shit.
Yeah. They don't.
And I like him, but I want to say you fall into that category, my friend. I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, with me, I think it's just a status symbol more so than anything else. I think people are getting things, and cars falls right in that category, that they don't need, things that they just want to say they have, things that they don't even operate with, they don't even use functions that that vehicle is capable of. I mean, I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I got it specifically to be able to drive it on the beach and stuff like that.
And you go to the beach.
And I go to the beach. So, but I got a pretty basic model. There are some, like there's people with the craziest Rubicons and these lift kits and all this shit.
You don't need the locking diff.
And they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They don't do shit. We do not live in the fucking
Adirondacks.
We're not in the Adirondacks. We're not in California where you can do all this fucking big bear rock, this freaking rock crawling and shit. We don't have that here. So it's like if you want to go upstate, yeah, you're going to hit some stuff, but New York's not like these other places.
It's not what you're gonna do.
Yes, it's not what's. It's get something for what you need.
Yeah.
Like I got the Jeep I need. For what I need, for what I want, I got what I needed. I wasn't gonna go and get this crazy package that allows me to submerge my vehicle and shit. Like, get out of here.
But that's where we are. We're consumers. So you look at, and even when you think about it, like, is it really feasible to like say like, all right, well, I run off electric. It only costs me X amount of dollars per mile. But then I turn around and say, I could buy a Corolla for sub $20,000.
True.
You're gonna tell me that mathematically that car is cheaper to drive? I don't believe it.
I just don't like that. I can't stop somewhere and instantaneously add 200 more miles to
That's gonna get better. That's going to get better.
But how much better? Like how long before, how long it took to set up this infrastructure of gas stations everywhere and stuff like that?
You can't, no. This is one thing that I will tell you. They will fucking put those things everywhere. They could do it in a couple months. Just start slapping them down everywhere. If they got good at it, you look at, we used to charge our phones overnight. Now they get charged in like half an hour. You plug your phone in. I don't know about you, got an iPhone, so I know you guys haven't unlocked this technology for you guys yet. But Androids have fast charging.
They're getting ready to release it next September.
Next September, they're
going to talk about it. They're going to preview it next September, and then the following September, when everybody's no longer using batteries,
they're going to
they'll release the brand new fast rapid charging technology.
So they're going to have rapid charging. I do think the charging is going to get better. The technology is going to improve. Do I think it's going to be? Do I think it's going to be something everybody's using? Like, no, not really. I will say one thing when we're going to talking about Android iPhones. Justin being an iPhone user, myself being an Android user, I've been rocking Android since the G1. I've had like the Nexus one, but I will tell you one thing. And
that phone was dope as fuck.
The Nexus one was sick.
I wanted that shit.
I got the Nexus one from
almost sold
Google.
Me on Android for that.
It was such a good phone. Rather. I got it from Google. When you bought it, it was like $600 at the time. Free custom engraving on the back.
And that was a lot for a phone.
Yeah. If somebody has a Nexus one out there, my phone, because my phone ended up selling it and the dude lost it. It was engraved on the back and it said, "My gateway to the galaxy." If you have that phone, please contact me. I will buy it off of you.
You had that custom engraved?
Custom engraved, "My gateway to the galaxy."
What?
It's the truth. It is.
Wow. So you were able to add that to your order because it was so exclusive. It was that exclusive.
When that phone was coming out, you couldn't buy it from like Verizon or AT&T or anything like that.
You bought it from Google.
I bought it from Google.
Damn, you were the first person that was getting spied on.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
that phone was dope as fuck.
It was a cool phone. It had a little trackball on it. But what I was gonna say is,
it did have the trackball.
It had a trackball on it. It was like the perfected trackball. It was like, I'm pretty sure their selling point was like, not that bullshit BlackBerry trackball.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is that I've always said that, I've had iPhones I've had multiple phones at the same time. So I've had my work phone be an iPhone and I've had my personal phone be an Android phone. And I don't hate on iPhones. I understand their purpose and I think honestly, in my personal opinion, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. There's little differences.
Small preference.
Yeah,
changes.
preference things.
Well, they're actually significant, really, if you're really deep in.
You can get deep into the differences. It's the same fucking thing. They do the same fucking things, do they not?
Yeah, they serve the same purpose. They can find you can find some kind of workaround for all the functions.
Yeah, but I always said that I wanted to try the iPhone out when they got widgets and they enabled like users to be able to
Which they have
customize their look.
They do
Because
have it
my
now.
thing with Apple's is like, oh, your phones look the same. This guy's phone just looks like their phone. Like, look at my phone. I've organized it different. I have these widgets in my background. Blah 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 blah. Maybe I'll try that new iPhone that they just announced. Is it the 12? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. I'm trying not to even look or pay attention.
They just
because I don't want a
recently
new one.
announced it.
I don't want a new one. My phone.
You don't
bill
need
is-
a new one
My
yet.
phone bill is under $100.
What?
Yeah, bro. I don't need a new one. I paid that shit off. I had gotten it. I put like some money down, but then I paid it off over time. It's been paid off for like 8 months now, and I'm.
My phone bill's triple your phone bill.
Yeah, it's my phone bill is 90. I think it's $96.
Oh, it's not exactly triple. I'm like 260.
Yeah, no. But you also have like a family plan.
You by yourself?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got 3 people on my
I'm
plan.
by myself. My girl and I need to put that together. We need to do more.
Putting the
shit
phone
together.
together is.
We need to bundle that shit because it's like fucking. She pays a lot. I kind of pay a lot. Like we could.
You
Definitely
guys
get
save a
something
couple
cheaper.
bucks.
We could probably save like $50 a month.
Yeah, if you bundle. If I sound like the commercial, right? If you bundle,
That's right.
Yeah, you save some fucking money. I think that the phones are ridiculously expensive nowadays, but I have been telling people, and I want to tell people now so they're not disappointed in me when they see me, because people see me and they expect me to have an Android phone in my hand.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of warming me up to the fact that you're gonna try this new iPhone.
I might try it, but it's because I'm not a fucking idiot. Like, we have to try new
Yeah,
things
you gotta try shit.
and explore
Yeah.
different options.
Yeah.
And how do I know I'm not going to enjoy kissing another man on the mouth until I've locked lips with a beautiful man? You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You know why you like spaghetti?
Because you tried spaghetti.
'Cause one day somebody put that shit on your plate and you fucking loved it. It's the same thing. No, but I might inevitably try the iPhone. And you know what? If I don't fucking like it,
That's funny.
I'll take it fucking back.
You can take it back. I think they told me I had
30
14
days.
14 days, I think.
I want to say it's
No, 14 days before my girl's lease. I still remember that. 30 days.
30 days,
30 days.
and then but okay, 14 days to bring it back, 30 days to bring it back, and you have to pay a reactivation fee,
Or restocking fee.
a restocking fee, or something ridiculous.
That is the biggest load of bullshit. The creation of the restocking fee. What the fuck is that?
What does that mean? I gotta pay you. I'll put the fucking phone back in the drawer.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I brought you the box and everything. Can I keep the box and the instructions and all that shit? Like, do I get to keep something? Or
You keep nothing. First of all, anytime I trade, so I've had notes for a while. My last bunch of phones were notes. I have a phone in this drawer that some people. I don't even know if I should say this. I'm not gonna pull it out. I have one of the notes that they stopped making and they never started making again
Yeah.
because they were just getting a little too hot. I still have. So I had a lot of notes, and
getting a little too hot, meaning what? They were catching fire?
some of them may have caught on fire.
Allegedly.
And some of them
Blew up in a lady's face while it was charging.
and they did ban them
That
from
one?
airplanes,
Big deal.
and they stopped making them all together. They just didn't make one that year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They were just like, all right, we're not making this phone anymore. They started sending people new phones.
Yeah, because it started fucking hurting people.
Yeah. So, but what I was gonna say is whenever my screen breaks or I have to get insurance for something like that, first thing I do, I'm like, you know what? You guys are getting my phone back. I gotta pay this money. I'm keeping the stylus. Whoop. Send it back.
They don't, it doesn't, you don't have to include the stylus when you send it?
They say you do.
They never check? I got a whole bunch of styluses, don't I? Is it styli?
Ooh.
A stylus? Is it styli? Stylusi.
That's
Or is it
that's a career
styluses?
path.
Styli. Stylusi.
Stylize a fire name.
Styli.
Isn't that a cool name though for like a little girl?
My son? Come on, this is 2020.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Wait, for my Z.
Yeah. How do you want to? You want to declare your pronouns now, just in case?
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it. You
All
know,
right.
I'm on the fence. It's, every day I feel different,
You can go since I haven't declared mine yet. I'm gonna feel this. I'm gonna wait it out because I don't want you to throw some heat out there, and I'm gonna regret announcing my pronouns.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold off as well. So right
You
now,
gonna
you
wait for
can
some
call-
inspiration?
Yeah, right now you can call me whatever you want, and I
All right.
can't get mad because I haven't established a
All right,
appropriate
so you let me
pronoun.
fill in the blank.
Yeah. Call it. I don't give a fuck what you call me, and guess what? I'll call you whatever you want me to call you too. And
I'm kind of feeling they, them.
they, them. Oh my God, fuck me. I don't want to refer to you as they, them. Think about it. We'll talk about it next episode.
That's what I'm considering.
I will tell you that my senior year in college, I was taking a bullshit like speech class or whatever, and this was around a time where, keep in mind, my college also had gender neutral bathrooms, so you could use any bathroom you wanted, which I thought was fucking great.
You went to a state school, didn't you?
So yes, I did. So gender neutral bathrooms, which I for me, I don't give a fuck. It's a bathroom. We all do the same thing in there.
We're all going there to piss and shit.
Yeah, I don't
Do
care.
I care the gender of the person that's leaving the shit? No.
Doesn't bother me at all.
I don't give a fuck.
Honestly,
Who
I
cares?
I prefer the women's room. Much more privacy, much more stools.
Much more stools?
Yeah.
They shit more?
Yeah,
Or
good.
much more stalls?
Stalls, excuse me. Much more stalls because there's no urinals. And that's the only difference is when you walk into a woman's room, you're just like, oh, where the fuck are the urinals?
Yeah, exactly. That's the tip-off.
Yeah.
What if they stopped having us? That's a tip-off. I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell?
Urinals are just like NASCAR style fucking bathrooms. You're in and out. But what I was gonna say is I took this class, and in the class, when you during the introduction for the syllabus, you have to sign and come to this agreement as if like you're just gonna stand up in court. This isn't gonna stand up in court, buddy. But I'll sign your fucking syllabus.
Wait, what's you're signing a syllabus?
You're signing your syllabus saying that you understand blah blah blah.
It's
blah.
a contract, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's a contract.
What the fuck ever.
You know what a contract is? It's nothing until you take it to court and try to enforce it, and then they tell you whether this is going to be a contract or not.
Exactly.
Newsflash, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So they had the pronoun thing there. They're like, how do you want to be referred to? And I was funnier in college than I am now, so I wrote sorcerer.
That's wait, what? So what do you want to be known as? It said.
It was like. It was kind of like, how do you, like, what are you kind of thing. I don't remember what it was. I just wrote sorcerer there. And my professor, a proud gay man, Jewish man, I'm going to tell you why it's important that I say that he's Jewish, because when he wanted to talk about, you guys know any powerful speakers, I raised my hand and I say Adolf Hitler. Doesn't mean I agree with the guy's fucking, opinion, or what he was doing, but he's known to be.
The fact remains that he's a powerful speaker.
He convinced an entire country
You
to
don't
do
get to
crazy
that
shit.
point. Yeah, you don't convince that many people to do that many evil things unless you are a
Evil
powerful
person,
speaker.
yes. Good speaker, yes. There's no correlation between the two. So, needless to say, he was offended, and he didn't refer to me as a sorcerer the whole semester. And I don't
How
think
dare he.
I don't think he liked me even until halfway through the semester, when I was the only one that could speak in public in our class, because there was a bunch of 19-year-olds in there that just were taking the class for bullshit reasons. And I was first of all, keep in mind, I was coming from my fucking 9-to-5 day job, showing up in a fucking suit,
Yeah.
and
Oh, you were showing up to class in a suit.
yeah, I
That's
did
what's
most
up.
of my college career. I was, I was working.
Yeah, yeah.
I was showing up in a suit.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I think he understood that I was taking it seriously, and whatever I said wasn't to, to offend him. And if it did, I don't give a fuck, because it wasn't my
But the
intention.
fact remains, you can't change facts. I'm
No.
sorry that hurt his feelings, but you're an adult. Fucking have a little sip of water, find your nuts, and go sit down and grow the fuck up.
And how crazy is it that that anybody could tell anybody else what the fuck they can or cannot do? There's all these rules and shit.
Woo! I wanted to touch on something. Now, we are not going to get into politics because I don't give a fuck
Not
about politics.
at all,
I think it's
yeah.
all a circus. Everybody's full of shit. The left side, the right side, the middle side, the upside, the downside, everybody's full of shit.
There's shit everywhere.
But what I find crazy, which to me was more of a concerning point than the actual story. Long story short, there's some idiot that wants to be president again, and then there's another idiot that wants to be president for the first time. So that's where we're at.
Yes.
So there's one idiot that wants to be president for the first time,
We can
who's-
say his name.
Yeah.
Kanye West? Is that who you were going to say? Are you no, you're talking about Joe Biden.
Yeah. So,
Oh, we're talking about two different stories.
all right.
Yes.
So allegedly his son dropped off a laptop to get repaired. Never
Yes.
picked it up because he's a fucking idiot. So he leaves
Yeah.
it there, apparently with some dirt on it, some emails and some information, some apparently videos of him allegedly smoking crack, videos and emails between him and the Russian.
And he's also, it's been documented that he's like a reformed former addict, or I don't know. Alleged, right?
I don't know facts or not. I don't care. But anyway.
Doesn't matter.
So he left his computer there. The guy finds some shit on there linking him and his dad to some Russian big shots that were paying them millions and millions of dollars and shit like that,
Yeah.
right? Whatever. So there's all kinds of shit that was found on his laptop. Regardless of what was found on it, nobody's refuting it. His family's not denying it. They're not saying it's not true,
They're just not talking about it?
which is fine. They could stay silent about it, but the fact remains that this is real. Like, the emails were put out. They were released. People have read them, what they say, and there's clearly links between him taking these people and introducing them to his dad when he was vice president.
Yeah.
And that's wild shit. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy shit. He was
That's
getting
so
paid
crazy.
to introduce his dad to people over there.
That's
That's what they were
nuts.
saying. So anyway, what I find crazy is people that were posting this information
Oh, yes.
were getting their social media accounts shut down.
Well, that's when you get into now that where
Tyranny?
yes,
when you get into
you start
communism?
silencing people.
Dude, they're a step away from burning our books. Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
God. You know
So what do you think of this?
So-
This has dangerous implications.
Yeah, 100%.
It really, really does, because what do you think is the number one company that controls the flow of information on the internet?
You know, it's Google, right? Yeah.
And guess who was burying every single story and
Google
every
was
article
burying
related
it.
to this information?
There's so
Google.
many other things. Look.
They can alter the narrative of the planet. We're getting into dangerous territory here. Twitter suspended the account of the White House press secretary because
she mentioned it.
yeah,
That's insane.
bro, they shut down the Twitter of the New York Post.
And you know what they'll say?
The New
too?
York Post, they're shutting down the media, the literal media. They're shutting down the newspapers,
The
internet
people
presence.
who were never supposed to be silenced.
No, the
that's
ones
what
that
the press
are-
is here for.
First Amendment came from it. It really, like, a lot of the way we use the First Amendment in modern society is for media.
Yeah.
That's the way we use it. Like, everybody goes around, flipping people off, fuck you, and shit like that. Yeah, it's not illegal. But the main way people express their freedom of speech in 2020 is through social media.
Well, I think that the news used to be like this neutralizer to kind of put the stop on the bullshit. But now, and not that I don't want to say that the country is divided, but I don't want to talk about that. But like, everything's so divided now that it's just like, we're going to push this or we're going to push that. And I'm not going to get into the political side of it, but I will touch on like Twitter and these social media stopping that. I think that nobody should have their account taken down. I'm not a pro kitten killer,
True.
but if you post kitten killing videos and doesn't violate the terms of service that the website has, like whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
I think if it's not illegal where you did it,
put it up.
if it's not illegal where
I'm not
you
going
did
to watch it.
Yeah. I'm not
But
going to watch it.
I don't want nobody to tell me what the fuck I can say.
It's terrible, but there's a lot of things that take place in other countries that are normal over there.
Cockfighting.
Like, yeah, people could be as outraged as they want over here about cockfighting and stuff, but in other countries, that's part of what they do. You might hate the suppression of women's rights. In America, we support women's rights.
Yeah.
But there's other countries where their culture, even the women there, are embedded in the culture of not having rights. This is how they're raised. This is how they live. We have no right to tell these people how to live. What's normal there is normal there.
100%.
So, that would be like us saying that a man can't tell his wife not to speak on a video on Facebook when they're in the same room or something like that. If he's like,
Can
hey,
you
stop
imagine?
talking. Like, we're going to censor that guy from saying that to his wife when that's what they do over wherever he's from. And she's into that too. That's her way. Maybe she is used to living that way, and we judge the culture and stuff, which because here we compare it to our norms here in America in 2020.
It's such an ignorant thought, and you look at like if you were to, I don't even know if Brad and Angelina are even together, but I'll just use them as an example, right? If you put them on television and they're having an interview and Angelina Jolie's talking and Brad Pitt goes, "Wait, don't talk anymore," and he says something, there will be a troop of females at her house to save her from this fucking tyrant of a husband.
And she might be like, "Yo, sometimes I talk too much, and he needs to tell me to just slow it down."
I can't tell you what the dynamic of your relationship is supposed to be like.
No.
I can't tell you how. Somebody one day told me something that I never will forget, and they said to me, "You can't teach anybody how to love you the way that they love, right? So me and you are good friends, right? But I can't teach you how to be a good friend to me. If you're a good friend and you have the qualities and you treat me the way I like to be treated, then we can continue to be friends. But if you don't pick up my phone, if you start doing things like not picking up my phone calls, doesn't mean you're a bad person. That's just the kind of friend you are, right? I can't say Justin's a piece of shit for not picking up my phone calls. I just choose not to fuck with you. It is what it is. Like, I can't teach you how to be a good friend to me. Because only know how to be a good friend the way you know how. Just like you can't teach your girl how to love you. If your girl's not, like somebody who's always on top of you, then that's just the way she is, and you can't force her to be that way.
Exactly.
Some people are they're in that kind of situation, and they're not.
They think they can force behavior.
Yeah, you can't force behavior. I can't.
You can't.
Listen, sometimes, every once in a while, my girl might tell me to shut the fuck up. Some other places in the world, they don't tolerate things like that.
Some other places in the world, they take her left hand off for saying that shit.
But guess what? In my household, it's fucking fair game. Say whatever you want.
Good point. Put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say the other countries where they do that, where they where they oppress their women, and they don't allow them to do things, and they tell them to shut up, and they beat them and stuff. What if they watch the way women and men interact in America, and that they thought they had influence on what we do here?
Get the fuck out of here. First of all,
imagine if other countries did what America does to other people.
Yeah, and they try to come over here and be like, "Listen, you guys can't be letting these girls out here voting and shit.
Yeah,
you're letting them go to college.
Yeah,
they don't know how to read.
Yeah,
they don't even know how to sew.
Yeah."
What are you guys doing? That's what they would come over here and say.
I'm seeing calf muscles.
Yeah.
What the fuck are y'all doing out here?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
So when you think of it that way, it's like we judge everybody's behavior and everybody's culture and everybody's personal existence based on whatever we feel, which is craziness. It's lunacy, bro.
They don't judge our behavior, but they're definitely judging our political decisions. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. I bet
the other countries?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Do you see what that debate looked like? It must have made us look like the weakest country in the world.
And that's my only thing about the whole political system. Like, I'm not pro anybody, but I will say that we got to get our shit. This is embarrassing that we're like the laughing state. We're like, people are like literally laughing at us. I was talking shit when the dude, maybe the guy from Canada, I don't know if he was like a mayor out there, but he was like smoking crack. He's like a reformed crack addict.
Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about?
You're talking about Marion Barry.
I remember when his stories were going out,
I forget where he was. It Canada? He was in. I think it was Marion Barry. Was it Marion Barry?
I'm pretty sure somebody from Canada. And I was like, damn, Canada's fucked up in the game. What?
Yeah, right.
I'd take that guy any day of the week.
He got reelected after that,
dude. Because he's probably just I don't know anything about their system or what's going on over there, or if he did it good or if he did bad. And that's the thing. And the same thing over here. Nobody knows if this person did good, this person did bad. Nobody could tell you one good or bad thing that anybody is doing on any side. Nobody could talk about nobody could name a document that was passed or anything like that. They're just like, this guy's good, we're getting jobs. This guy's better, we're going to pay less taxes. This guy's this. Well, all right. Well, what did any of these people do? Whatever.
But that's why it's like, it's kind of like a stupid charade. But that was my question to you: is like, what are we doing? They're using now political leverage to take away what we're able to say and not say online if it doesn't coincide with the narrative of the company. And it's like, but it's tricky because they're private companies. Twitter is private. YouTube is private. It's owned by Google. Google is private. These are private companies, but it just so happens that they control like 90% of the flow of information. So at this point, where do we go from here? Do we go from like, do they need to be regulated, or is that too dangerous to start having the government involved in the internet? Because once you do that shit, it's a fucking wrap.
So, to the last point, government and the internet. No, I don't want government to regulate anything on the internet.
Agreed.
It's the internet, right? They're publicly traded. They're private companies that are publicly traded. Their responsibilities are to their shareholders. So, they need to make the right decisions to make sure that their shareholders are responsible. They need to make the right decisions to make sure their shareholders are happy. Should they be able to have the right to take things down? Just like our conversation from the last podcast, yes. But what they need to understand is that they have a responsibility to the public, right? And they have a responsibility to to make it an even playing field for everybody to be able to do what they want, make it fair. And one of the things that they'll turn around and say is that, well, some of these conversations are dangerous for society, right? They'll be like, well, this is news, like the story that you talked about. We're talking about Russians. We're talking about, in bed. We're talking about Russian diplomats in bed with United States diplomats or
former vice presidents,
or even not in bed, but having conversations. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. They're alleging.
I don't really know many. I don't know too many details. I just know that there was money exchanged and there was contact made when this guy was trying to go after the other guy. The other idiot. So this idiot was trying to go after the other idiot, saying that he was having contact with the Russians. Meanwhile, this idiot was the idiot doing it.
That's insane. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty ironic. It's ironic, right?
And the other idiot was never found to be doing that at all.
Yeah, that's irony, though.
So I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, how stupid are you to be doing? This is how dumb all these people are.
Do you think it's like the UFO thing, where like maybe we shouldn't tell them because they might lose their fucking minds? Like, I also do feel like society's kind of stupid, and where sometimes you can't tell us everything.
I just think this is what happens when you have older people involved in using the internet now. He thinks like this shit ain't a thing. Like this ain't gonna go away. I had that conversation in private over on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
right.
What? Let me introduce you to the internet.
Nothing's private.
And let me introduce you to your stupid son that left his computer packed full of incriminating shit and never picked it up. This is what happens when you're rich and you're on drugs and you're dumb.
Yeah. The triple threat?
Take all your
Is that the triple threat?
All your crimes and you leave them and you never go back to get it because you're all fucked up, fucking off, and you're
you know
rich.
What?
So you don't even miss this
Doesn't
money.
give a fuck. He said, yeah, it's real slow lately. Can you fix it?
Yeah, it's just not working right. I don't know. I think I spilled something on it. And they're like, okay.
Dude never came back.
Come get it Tuesday.
I think it's I think you never know. I have to look at things from an objective perspective, so I think that you never know what really fucking happened. I think that this one seems kind of cut and dry, but the truth is that none of that you never know. None of that shit shocks me, bro. Why do people think that all these people are good people? There's so many bad people out there. Why are these people like so good?
I think it just comes from the natural American sheep mentality that nobody wants to think for themselves. Nobody wants to be the leader. There used to be a point, I remember when I was growing up and I was playing baseball and t-ball when I'm a little kid, everybody used to want to be on the mound. Everybody wanted to pitch when you're a kid. Start to get a little older, nobody wants to pitch anymore because nobody wants to be responsible. Nobody wants to be the one to be, all the weight on them. So I feel like that's what ends up happening with American people is we just, this guy's a fucking idiot, but at least I ain't got to do it.
That's one thing, but it's also a fact that nobody wants to work at developing their own opinion on anything. Nobody wants to. They're cool with just listening to me and you talk about it and then taking our opinion and making it their opinion.
I wish I could do that. Life's probably so easy if you're one of those people.
That's
oh my God. I'm exhausted because I just think all the fucking time.
But isn't that what you look at the internet's, and I always forget this word because it's a stupid fucking title, but the influencers, right? You look at the internet, and that's what they are. They're influencing people, but they're not all the sharpest tools in the shed. Some of them are great at what they do. Some of them are super fucking great. Listen, certain people are good at certain things. Doctors are really good at the human
At
body
doctoring.
and doctoring, right? But they're not good at building houses. Maybe some of them are good at building houses, but I suppose with a majority of them, I would take a good guess that they're not, right? Everybody's good at
If you come across a doctor that can build a house, I pray to God he's got a tiny little dick.
yeah, you probably just have a little schlong.
Fucking God's got to even shit out somehow.
Yeah. Because the doctor and he's building houses. No, but I say that to say that people go out there and they're really good at doing makeup tutorials on YouTube, and then they're telling you who to vote for. It's kind of fucking crazy. Tana Manju, whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh, she the chick that's like selling her, like she's telling people to vote, and she'll show them.
She said if you vote for person A or person B, she said if you vote for the person that she wants you to vote for, she'll send you a free nude pic, which is a fucking federal offense. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. This is how stupid people are.
Isn't that crazy?
This is how
She put
stupid
that shit
people are.
on the internet.
And what happened? Feds kicked in her door or some shit?
No, I don't
What
know if they're going to
happened?
pursue charges on her for being a fucking moron or not. But maybe she. Let's see if she goes through with it.
I wonder what side she was getting the votes for. Because I can guarantee you that if it was one side, she won't get in trouble. But if it was the other side, they'll try to throw the book at her.
She was going to switch the player. She wanted the pitcher. She wanted the coach to pick up the phone.
Got you.
And if you watch baseball,
She wanted the right-hander?
Yes. If you know baseball, then you know what the fuck we're talking about. If you don't, then I apologize, but we're not really trying to get into the political talk. So, and then another really interesting thing.
That was a good way of putting it.
Thank you. There's another interesting thing is look at all the people who are putting to learn to like those voting links in their social media and how many new voters they're getting. You got David Dobrik that got over 200,000 people to register to vote from his platform. He put a link.
That's very different than getting somebody to get out of their mom's basement and go vote.
Yeah.
Getting them to register. You can register from home.
Yeah.
You can't vote from home.
But it's they're breaking records in terms of how many people are trying to go vote and shit like that. It's just that's a part of the influencer that I don't mind. David Dobrik putting up a link to help people register to vote is great. David Dobrik sharing his person, and he's never, I haven't heard of him to do this, but I'm just saying this as an analogy. Him saying that you should vote for person A or person B because of whatever the fuck he feels is ridiculous. People should just say, you know what, go look it up. Or give me all the facts on both of them and let me make my own decision.
Exactly.
People fucking.
And I think there should be an option to be like, wait. We fucked up on both of these. Let's start over.
Yeah.
We don't want either of these guys.
Yeah.
Get them. These guys have proved that neither one of them is capable. So let's get them both out and fucking start over.
Or the opposite. You know what? Put them both in there.
Yeah, put them both in there. And
We'll
whoever's
tell you
got a better jab.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted them to fight.
No. put him in there, and we'll tell you in 6 months who the fuck we want or we don't. We're gonna trial periods. Technically, right now everything's like a trial period because you could always kick the guy out, but nobody ever gets kicked out. One guy got kicked out, and
Who got kicked out?
Somebody's been impeached before.
Yeah, but impeachment did they remove? I don't think they removed him from
I don't
office.
think he was removed. I think he was
No.
impeached. We're talking about Clinton, right?
I think so. Somebody that got in trouble for getting a beach.
No big fucking deal.
Oh, fuck.
This guy's grabbing fucking muffin, and this guy's fucking not getting.
Well, he didn't get in trouble for getting,
He's not grabbing muffin. He's making recommendations.
yes, of exactly how to grab the muffin.
Yeah.
And where to grab it.
And when that sometimes
Yes.
you gotta grab that thing,
That's right.
put them in their place,
Yeah,
right?
so he thinks.
Yeah.
So my with I lost it.
Sorry. It's the muffin talk. It's the muffin talk.
It's the muffin talk. You're right.
Yeah.
God damn it! I want
It's-
a muffin, corn muffin.
The corn
Toasted
muffins
with
are
butter.
delicious. Oh my god, stop it.
Yeah,
I
toasted
love
with
that shit.
butter.
I like the ones from Costco's, the chocolate ones with the chocolate chips in them.
I'll put you on to what I had today for brunch:
What'd you have?
chicken and waffles.
I'm not a big fan of chicken and waffles.
Watch your fucking mouth.
You know why? I'll tell you why.
Watch your mouth.
They're like
Tread lightly.
They're like Contras, right?
What?
It's like sweet and savory, or like sweet and salty.
Yeah, sweet and savory. It's delicious. You ever take fried chicken and dip it in maple syrup?
Yeah,
It'll change your life.
I'm a sweets guy. You know me. If for the people who don't know me, my name's Roberto, and I enjoy baking. All right. I make a wicked good. I make a fucking really good cheesecake. I make a really good brownies.
True.
I make an even better chocolate chip cookie.
Also true.
And so I like sweets. I do love sweets. I love like chewy. I love like gummy candy. I'm currently on a diet, which is why I love seltzer anyways. Thanks to this man right here. I used to think seltzers were dog shit. I used to think they were the grossest things on earth, and now that's all I drink. But
It's game changing.
it is. This is people that drink soda. You're fucking gross.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up. You're drinking fucking carbonated Capri Suns. That shit's disgusting, bro.
Shit's terrible.
Stop
It's
drinking
syrup,
that shit,
bro.
It's so bad for you.
You ever see that video of the guy boiling it on
No,
YouTube?
that shit takes rust off cars.
Bro, he boiled it. It turned into a vat of like sticky fucking. It was like sticky. I can't even. It was like sap.
You know why?
It was
Because he probably
disgusting.
boiled all like the
He cooked all
liquids.
the water out.
Just syrup left. I don't want to go away from your chicken and waffles talk
No, it's all good,
conversation.
but it
I
was
don't wanna-
delicious. That's all I wanted to tell you.
I'm happy to hear that you really enjoyed it. And one day when I go
Amazing.
one day when I do go to a place that is their thing,
yeah.
I will eat it. But in my mind, I feel like they're too different. They're too different for me to enjoy them together. I love waffles. I just went before I got on my diet. One of the last meals I had was a Belgian waffle. I love waffles, and you know I love chicken.
It seems that way. Like, remember the first time that you had bacon pineapple pizza?
Yeah, I could see. Yeah.
It's
a
something
similar
like
concept.
that. It's something like that, because when I tell people about bacon pineapple pizza, they think I'm the most disgusting creature that ever crawled out from underneath a toilet seat.
That's ridiculous.
They think I'm disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? And they're like, ew, you fucking nasty fucking pineapple. Ew. I'm like, okay, I don't know
Yeah,
why
well,
I had
they
to be all
probably
that.
those guys probably like deep dish pizza from Chicago.
Ew.
Ugh.
Little Caesars and shit.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Ew. This shit is nasty.
I'll never eat that shit. That shit's not even. It
It's
shouldn't
a
even.
fucking casserole.
They shouldn't call that shit a pizza.
It's a dough casserole.
It's crazy that y'all
Shit is
call that a pizza.
nasty.
That second cousin to pizza. Fuck out of here,
That
bro.
shit is bread. It's cheese bread.
Yeah,
The fuck out of here. If I
It's-
want cheesy bread, I get cheesy bread. That already exists.
that shit in a fucking slice. That's not a pizza.
No. You can't just call anything you want a pizza, like a salad pizza.
Get the fuck.
Fuck is that? You know how hard that is to eat?
Also
My girl gets
not
a
a
salad
pizza.
pizza. I said, what are you doing with that? It's salad on top of like a piece of pizza dough, and it's impossible to eat. They're cutting it. It's falling apart. I said, just get a salad with a piece of bread on the side.
Yeah.
What do you? This is
honestly,
a salad
I'd rather get a-
disguised as pizza.
I'd rather get a Greek salad with a pita on the side.
Way better.
The pita bread is delicious.
Way better.
Bread
It
in
just
general is delicious.
doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the idea, I guess. I mean, if you want to go to the pizza, like if you're dating a vegan and you like to go to pizza, you like to go get pizza, and she doesn't like pizza. Sure, let's go get pizza. Guess what, hun? They got a mean salad slice. Go get it.
Said nobody ever.
I have heard about good salad slices from salad eaters. I eat salad, but not exclusively.
I just don't think that it's necessary. Okay. Can there be a good salad slice?
Yes, I'm sure
yeah,
there is.
100%.
Like a Caesar slice would be delicious.
Because Caesar salads are delicious. They're creamy. They got bread in them. They got cheese in them. They're not really.
They got anchovies in them.
They got anchovies in them.
You know that's in a Caesar dressing.
It's in the dressing, yeah. So it's one of the, but it's like this would have been just as good if it wasn't on this bread. It's just unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's probably delicious.
It's like the tablet. It's
Yeah.
like an in-between we don't need.
We don't need tablets.
You got a
You
phone
know
and
who
a
need-
computer. I
Yeah,
don't
you
need
know who
that.
needs a tablet? Young children.
Kids. That's right. Learn how to read and learn colors and shit.
Yes.
That's who needs a tablet. That's it.
Adults don't need tablets.
And to leave mom and dad for alone for a fucking little while.
Yeah, grandmas need tablets to do Sudoku on.
Yeah.
And that's
Or to
it.
order their refill their prescriptions and shit.
Shit like that.
Large
yeah.
text, large print. Maybe read a couple books.
Yeah, young adults, you don't need a fucking tablet.
I had like I don't want to get into like my job and stuff, but at work the other day there was an older woman, very old, and she had an iPad Pro.
You don't think
She was playing solitaire on that shit.
You think that? I think that she should be able to have that.
Of course, but I think that there's no need for her to be that much at risk carrying such a valuable item where she can use something much less expensive to do what she's doing on it. Do you think that she's designing homes? You think she's doing architecture on that thing? You think that she's designing
In fear that she
$1,000 tattoos with that thing?
No, in fear that she might
No.
break it or get stolen.
In fear that she might, one, break it or lose it. And, you know, she didn't strike me as being well off enough to afford to lose such an expensive item.
Yeah.
Or break it.
Okay, I'm checking the
Or
time.
become, you know, a victim.
I don't know.
Anybody that sees like an 80-year-old woman with an iPad Pro, she's got a target on her back for these dirt bags out there, you know? I know I wouldn't let my mom walk around with that. What the fuck was that?
That's so funny. Keep talking. What I want to find out is how the fuck long we've been fucking talking.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. You can probably look up there and see how long.
No, I have no fucking clue how long we've been talking, and that's what I'm trying to fucking figure out.
Yo, can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah. No fucking clue. Oh,
Did you record on that?
no.
Did you need to?
No.
Okay. Because I was
No.
like, that thing's not recording, but all right.
We're going to get a locally saved copy from Twitch. Do I want an audio file? Yeah. Am I upset that we're not going to have an audio file?
I don't care.
I'm a little upset we're not going to have an audio file.
Nah, but it's all good. If it worst case scenario, I could take that video, dump it into Final Cut, and I have all
And just
access
pull
to
the
all
audio?
my plugins anyway. Because Final Cut and Logic are the same.
Okay.
They're like the same system, so I can pull up the same plugins and use them on.
You know what's super fucking funny is
What?
I'm going through like all our fucking software looking to see how long we've been live for when we know what time we went live at. Yeah, so we're at 2
Nice.
hours
We
right now.
passed 2.
We passed 2 hours. You want to wrap it up?
Sure, man. We'll start rapping, bro.
All right. Real quick, once again, please or don't, because I don't want to fucking pay you anyways. Check out our YouTube video. It was just published today. It'll tell you how to enter for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card, and then also possibly win a $25 gift card by picking who you think is gonna win this fight night. Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. 5 fights, 4 points a fight. Whoever gets the most points will win $100. Anybody who accumulates more points than either Justin or myself will win a $25 Amazon gift card.
That you will.
Your picks got to be up before the card, and you have to post it, tag us, and follow us on our social medias to be eligible for entry.
That's right. So you have to follow the Instagram, you have to follow the Twitter, and you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Which, listen, I'm gonna be honest, right? Because there's no reason why we can't be honest. When I was
Be honest.
when I was thinking about it, I was like, "Fuck, it's so much." Like
For people to do?
yeah, it's like, "Dang, I gotta subscribe to this one."
That's a lot to do for a $100 Amazon gift card.
It's not a lot to do.
I used to earn $100 a day working.
Now I know you feel strongly about this, but no. Do I think it's a lot to do for $100? No, I don't think it's a lot to do.
It's not.
But I think it's one of those things. Sometimes people are like, I don't know, well, I'll just do it later or whatever the case may be. But
All right, so I get to keep my money.
no. Yeah.
Do you want this money? How bad do you want free money?
If you want it, do it.
If you're a fight fan and
yeah, if you're a fight fan,
you know.
it would be worth it. It's not a huge deal. I guess I thought of it because for the people who sometimes don't use those social medias, but it doesn't matter. The rules are the rules. We've already set them. And you know what? It costs you nothing to fucking follow.
costs
us.
you nothing. It's 3 mouse clicks.
Yeah,
Bro, it's 3 mouse clicks.
It's 3 miles because if you have those.
And
browsers
if you're a
open.
fight fan, you're probably making picks anyway. So we're just encouraging you to be a little more
I'm not
involved.
saying what we're doing is wrong. I'm just saying that when sometimes people are turned off by those like follow this, follow that. I'm not asking you to follow our cousins. We're only asking you to follow our pages. So
And you know what? If you want to say that, listen, how about this? Our 10th follower on Twitter will get a $25 gift card to Amazon.
number 10.
Number 10.
All right,
And our 20th follower on Instagram will get a $25
same thing.
Amazon gift card. All
So,
right?
a little-
So go ahead, start following, start telling your friends, start getting this following going because we're going to build this podcast, we're going to build this channel, and we're going to build this into something that all you guys are going to love and that you guys are going to be able to be a part of weekly, and it's just going to be awesome. So
Tell us
share
what-
it and get this money.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Listen, we're only going to get better at this. I'm telling you right now, last week's video, this week's video, is in a different realm than last week's video. Last week's was good. This one's even better. Next week is going to be even better. And that's it, man. Just keep watching. Thank you so much for for participating in our event. I wish you guys all the best of luck. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to work very hard at my picks. I gave you guys one of my picks in the beginning of the podcast. I'm not going to say it again. If you want to go,
I did the same. Fuck.
Yeah, if you want to go look at my what I picked for the one fight that I talked about that's coming up this weekend, go check it out. That's it. You want to say anything?
No, and I think that's all we got. I think. Yeah, man. So just make sure you guys remember, man, just pay attention, watch the podcast, follow on social, because we're doing giveaways left and right. We're giving stuff away, and we're here for you guys.
First episode, we were going to give away, nobody won it. We were giving away Galaxy Live Buds. Oh,
Galaxy Live Buds, nobody wanted them.
Nobody wanted them.
Just stop by. Trust me, because shit is falling out of the ceiling. It might just land in your lap.
I'm glad nobody won those, honestly, because I'm enjoying them.
All right, see, look at that. They're already open and belonging to this gentleman now. You guys missed it.
Yeah. But you know what? I will take it back to Best Buy and get you guys a fresh box. That's
True
it,
story.
Man. Thank you guys for coming down and watching. We really appreciate your guys' time. And till next week, we are the Masters of None episode dose done in the books. I'm Roberto.
And I'm Justin, and our logo is on the way.
Oh, yes.
Our new logo is going to be dropping, so we want you guys to let us know, what you think, because I'm telling you it's going to go on some merch as well, so we're going to work on some of that. We got some ideas for some merch in the works, so there's going to be more giveaways of merch, giveaways of everything. We're giving it all away. That's just the vibe we're on, so
yeah, we're
make
really
sure
not
you tune
fucking
in.
around. We're not out here fucking around.
No fucking around. All right, guys, we're signing off. Masters of None Podcast, episode 2.